was the report for 2024 real estate market in the River region. According to industry experts, they predict for 2025, we will have more inventory to choose from for our buyers, more buyers for sellers to show their houses to. Here are 5 tips for buyers or sellers in 2025. Number 1, sellers need to price their home at fair market value with the help of your realtor. Number 2, buyers need to be pre-qualified by a local lender prior to shopping for a house to save them time. Number 3, use a certified residential specialist or CRS to purchase or sell your home. Less than 2% of realtors nationwide have this designation. You need an expert now. 4, use someone with 48 years of real estate experience to help you with your largest investment. Number 5, quit waiting. Now's the time to buy or sell. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, the Goodson Group, or 551-0225.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Honey?
Yeah?
Do you think it's safe using all these extension cords?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Actually, too many extension cords can be dangerous. Call Crosby Electric to add new outlets.
Sure is dark in our yard.
Good. We'll sleep better.
Maybe you will.
Crosby Electric does landscaping lighting for beauty and safety, as well as security lighting for peace of mind.
Oh, darn. The vacuum cleaner just tripped a breaker.
Honey, never vacuum while I'm making popcorn.
Tripping breakers can indicate a potential fire hazard. You really should have it checked out by Crosby Electric, serving the River region for almost 50 years.
Sweetheart, are you ever afraid that lightning could damage our electrical system?
Afraid? Oh, come on. No. Maybe we should call Crosby. Just give him a call.
Whole house surge protection can protect you and your possessions. For an assessment and for all your electrical needs, call Crosby Electric 272-2085 or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a beautiful Monday out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio with me. How you darn today, Eddie?
Pretty good. How you doing, bud?
I'm all right. For those of you who might be tuning in for Luis Elizondo, he's been moved to Tuesday.
That's right.
He had an emergency meeting with senators or something like that. Okay. I'm happy to be bumped for a senator.
Oh, yeah.
I get they're very important people. But there is so much going on right now. What's the word? So much winning.
Oh, there's a lot of winning going on.
I'm starting to worry I'm going to get tired of the winning.
Joey.
But last week I was getting a little down because we had to watch the old hat in Washington,
Yeah.
go after all the Trump appointees.
Yeah, we did see that.
But of all people I saw, this is winning. I saw Lindsey Graham.
It's not just about sex.
He was on the TV going, I love women. I'm Lindsey Graham and I love women. I love the ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm voting for Tulsi because I love women.
Well,
I'm like, that Uber Hawk's voting
That's
for
good
Tulsi?
to know. I did not know that.
And I love Indians, too. Kash Patel, all on board.
All in with Kash Patel? Oh, man.
And he's voting yes on RFK Jr. You're seeing Tom Cotton come out in favor of Tulsa. You're seeing a lot of John Cornyn, a lot of folks that you would have thought would have fought back, but they're not fighting back. So I guess that's another win. Everybody all up in arms about, over the weekend, Trump imposing the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
There were people up in arms, but there were several of us that just felt very comfortable with the man knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Oh, and by the way, it came out like last night, this morning, that Mexico caved.
Yes.
And Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, she is sending 10,000 Mexican National Guard troops to the U.S. border to stop the flow of fentanyl. They are pausing the tariffs that were announced, 25% tariff. They're pausing the tariff for a months-long negotiation.
30 days.
Yes.
Yep.
Over what to do. The Canadians, we'll see what they do next. Oh, by the way, you know the Panama Canal?
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't sign a new memorandum of understanding with the Chinese. And I believe Marco Rubio, after taking a trip there, they've come to an agreement of free entry for all U.S. naval vessels. And they're going to continue to talk. Oh, the Secretary General of NATO says actually Denmark, for security reasons, should give over Greenland to the United States. Huh. It's like all these crazy things, like all these crazy, crazy things.
People are getting on board, Joey.
Oh, and I haven't even mentioned Doge.
Man, I've seen some stuff this weekend about the Doge.
At about 11 o'clock our time last night, Elon did a Spaces, and he started off with Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm like, oh, wait, so they're still really kind of working together, like his best buds, a Doge.
I figured as much.
And Jody Ernst, Senator, joined in. Mike Lee, Senator, joined in. And Elon had a lot to say. We'll get to that in just a second. But I love the idea because Elon and Doge went after, say, the Treasury Department and USAID or USAID.
Yeah, just went ahead and shut the doors.
In retaliation, it looks like some folks tried to dox who is working at Doge. And it turns out, Eddie, that a lot of those guys, how was it characterized? Elon has 6 Adderall-fueled autistic tech bros, Zoomers, sleeping overnight at the Doge offices and working 24/7 on maximizing government efficiency. This is extremely bullish. Can you imagine some like IQ 150 autistic kid calling you up? You're a 30-year bureaucrat in the Treasury Department's like, yeah, give me over all your pass keys. We're auditing you. And on whose authority? The President of the United States. He's already signed off on it.
Oh, I loved it. I just absolutely loved it.
And they're moving so fast that folks are like, what about the FBI agents being dismissed? Apparently they're going to walk off the job and protest Trump, but apparently walking off the job is a fireable offense. It actually seems like this buyout offer.
Yeah.
8-month severance. We'll pay you full salary and benefits. A lot of folks are apparently going to take it. They don't know the exact number.
Yeah,
but
Greg and I were talking about it Friday. Honestly, at my age of 55, I would take it.
Yeah.
Why would you not take it?
Well, and think about it. Only 6% of federal workers are actually showing up at the office. Yeah. Some, I'm sure, of that 94%, some I'm sure can do the job well from wherever they're at.
Sure.
But there are a bunch of them.
A bunch.
That don't really like the job. It's just the job they got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And so, wait, I'm being offered like 8 months where I don't have to really do anything?
Turn on my computer from home?
Right. Like, I'll take it. Thank you very much. Right. And they apparently wanted to be even more generous. And then when you get into the dirty details, there are all sorts of instances of outright fraud. Joni Ernst talked about it in that Spaces on X last night. There was one employee who was getting massive benefits and massive salary because they gave a fake address. It was like a Staples warehouse, but they presented it as their residential address so they could get the commensurate salary of being in Virginia around D.C. Because the cost of living so much more. That person wasn't even living there. Again, it was a Staples warehouse. They were living in another state, working another job entirely.
Full time, yeah.
While still collecting the federal paycheck. So you got to wonder how much of this, if you just start
I would say there's a double-digit percentage.
Yeah.
They're easily.
So if you just start like digging into all this stuff and you move fast, I think you're going to surprise a lot of people to where Chuck Schumer, what did he come out with, a Corona and an avocado? It's like, Chuck, you don't even know how to open that avocado. You don't even know what avocado is, you schmuck. And they're jumping the gun. Look, this is going to be more expensive. And it's like, oh, by the way, Mexico caved and negotiations are ongoing.
Well, and the great thing about moving so fast is either you're going to get run over or you're going to get on the train. But nobody's looked at this stuff in forever.
Right.
God knows the kind of fraud they're going to have. Like you said, there's someone having a full-time job in another state. Honestly, someone else knew.
And how many buildings had these leases? The building's not even being used.
Yep, but we're paying the maintenance.
Right.
Paying the power bill.
There's so much of this. Doge's goal is to get to $3 billion a day in savings. And Elon is hoping, and we'll play the clips later from that conversation they had last night, to cut about $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026, which starts in October.
Wow. Hey, those are good goals.
I love it.
Those are good goals to have.
And when the deficit is $2 trillion,
right,
that's a heck of a cost savings. And then if you get the Congress on board, like if some members of the Senate and the House of Representatives start realizing, oh, this sort of winning is infectious. This sort of winning is like, oh, I like this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be able to get a lot done. So I'm wondering, because last week I was all in my feelings about, like, as much as the victory is so sweet, it's still the same old political BS up there in Washington, and the committee hearings are really making me feel that way. It's the same corrupt commentators in the corporate press. It's the same long-in-the-tooth senators that have long been bought and paid for by other interests. I'm especially looking at you, Bernie Sanders, fake. Another fake puppet. Elizabeth Warren, too, another fake puppet.
Big time.
But I started thinking, well, but even though it does seem like the same old crap, the sound bites, the contrived sound bites, like the bad faith arguments, the noise that politics makes, it's good to just re-examine it. Maybe some new things will come out of this. Maybe even the stuff you're really familiar with, maybe you don't know it quite as well as you thought. Well, this week, though, I'm thinking a little different. Because I'm thinking about the libs. You know, the libs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, should I feel sympathy, or and sympathy is a feeling of pity and sorrow for somebody's misfortune?
Right.
Or should I feel, there's not an English word for it. I think the word is something like...
Schadenfreude.
Oh, you German?
Very German.
Schadenfreude, pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. So I'm sitting here thinking over the weekend, should I feel sympathy or
Schadenfreude
for the libs, Eddie?
I don't know. I gotta be honest. I'm enjoying watching them learn the lesson. I'm enjoying the tears.
So I thought about it. I sat there and I waxed it over.
Yeah.
Remember like Bradley Whitford and Billy Madison, where he's learning a foreign language and waxing the backside of that statue? Yeah, that was me, but in my mind. Yeah, okay, should I feel sympathy or should I feel
Schadenfreude
for the libs?
Yeah.
And I thought of a great lib that everybody quotes. Some might not even know that he is a lib or a democratic socialist, but George Orwell. There's a lesser-known quote from George Orwell where he was responding to Friedrich Hayek, the great free market economist. And one of the lines that always sticks in my mind from George Orwell is, quote, "The trouble with competitions is that somebody wins them." Now, as that quote shows, Eddie, George Orwell could be such a lib. Orwell's understanding of competition is exactly backwards. His inversion, one only a lib could make. The trouble with competitions, if there's any trouble in them at all, isn't that somebody wins, but that somebody loses.
Right.
Indeed, the entire point and purpose of fair competition is to find the winner, to discover who is better and best at any given contest, and reward the victor accordingly with well-earned accolades, commendations, and rewards. Winning brings joy and excitement at a job finally done. Winning is a sigh of relief, a cathartic release, the feeling of rising onward and upward to a much-anticipated rendezvous with destiny, all as the dream becomes reality. The beauty of competitions, sorry, Orwell, is that somebody wins them. Yet only a lib, perhaps out of too much sympathy and compassion for the losers of the world, could talk of triumph as trouble, all while failing to give winners and losers their just due. Losing should sting. Losing should bring worry, woe, and anguish and a job left undone. Losing should be a bitter pill to swallow, a not to be stomached. The feeling of caving in and slipping backward short of a promised land that drifts away and ducks behind the horizon. Losing should be troubling. Yet only a lib could dream otherwise. If only the winners could see the trouble with their winning, a lib may say, then a world where everyone wins and no one loses is possible. If only the winners of the world could sympathize to the point of imagining themselves as losers, then a more equal and equitable kingdom here on earth could be realized, even at the risk of everyone feeling like a loser. That's where too much sympathy leads, folks. The wide world turned into a bucket of crabs. Too much pity for another's misfortune can sully all others' fortunes to feel in vain. That said, at the risk of showing my ambivalence and myself being labeled a lib, there is a way winning can become troubling too. For instance, I have never much enjoyed owning the libs. I rarely even use the term lib unironically. Like, I think this is the most I've said that word, like, ever on a show. Why? Why do I not really enjoy owning the libs? Because any competition worth winning should be about more than merely lording defeat over one's enemies. Is there a certain pleasure in seeing one's opponent suffer some grave misfortune? Yes, and though I am certainly not immune to feeling
Schadenfreude,
I always pray for victory sweet enough that there's no need to relish the bitterness of the defeated. Yet some men take their
Schadenfreude
to the level of sadism. Some men only feel free when they can treat other men as less than free, as spoils in some never-ending war where winning just means some other guy losing, nothing more. So how to strike the balance? Well, after the recent Trump victory, a victory I very much cheered on as though watching my favorite wrestler win the title at WrestleMania, brother, should I feel sympathy or
Schadenfreude
for the libs? I suppose it depends on the lib and how they came by their misfortune. For the average voter, especially the perpetual minority of lib voters in Alabama, those sad. I'm sorry, guys. I have sympathy. They seem to come by their feelings of misfortune, having played very little part in it themselves. The average voter, liberal or otherwise, is more a spectator than an active participant when it comes to their nation's politics, just as an Alabama or Auburn football fan is largely powerless to the outcome of the Iron Bowl. They mostly just cheer on their political team, feeling the pangs of their team's losses or the pleasures of their team's victories. As for those political superfans who live or die on election day, the equivalent, if we're using the football analogy, is nobody can beat the Tide. Like, every day they're talking about something like that. Well, okay, those active participants, I start to feel a little less sympathy and a bit more pleasure on my part seeing them suffer some misfortune. No matter the political affiliation, there is something comedic about seeing political parrots shamelessly squawk the latest party line after a loss. As for those who are active participants in the political process, media personalities, commentators, political candidates, elective office holders, and career bureaucrats, I find myself experiencing outright
Schadenfreude
at their misfortune. There is something delicious, Eddie, about seeing someone suffer a misfortune that they have brought upon themselves. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
There's something delicious about it. Something delectable about watching self-assured true believers suddenly witness that what they thought sacred and untouchable brought down with a heave-ho to the muddy earth. Something exhilarating. There's something exhilarating about seeing the usual invective spells and incantations of the libs, racist, sexist, homophobe, ignorant, fall flat and prove defective. And there is definitely something absolutely ecstatic about seeing a once dominant lib oligarchy embarrassed by how naked they have become to the public eye. But again, euphoria on account of others' misfortune should only go so far. Just as sympathy for the losers should only go so far. Competition is at its best when the victors inspire not just themselves, but the losers as well, to strive for new heights. After all, it was the long victory march of the libs for decades that inspired the victory of the Trump populace to greater heights. Hopefully, our sympathy and, well, what's that word?
Schadenfreude
will take us even higher in the competitions to come. So I guess it's a mixed bag. Like, I really do kind of feel for the person who's just going about their life and they're kind of a lib naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just their temperament. They, I want to love everybody and get along with everybody and be creative and all these sort of things. Yeah, and they don't really even talk about politics. You know the types.
I do know them very well.
Right. And I kind of feel sympathy for those folks. Like, what happened? And it's like, but they didn't have a big hand in it. But when I see it's like some columnist in Alabama who's like, this is all being done because Trump just wants to white out America.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you whiteys doing what whitey always does. You ignorant rubes. And it's like, I kind of feel the schadenfreude when I hear you talk. But it's especially so when I see the folks that actually participate in the politics and the political machine.
Yeah.
How they're freaking out in the Treasury Department, freaking out at USAID, freaking out at the DNC. I'm sure you saw some of that over the weekend.
Yeah.
Those folks, I'm like, I know exactly what y'all would have lorded it over everybody else. In fact, you have lorded it over everybody else for decades now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have very little, if any, sympathy for y'all. Man, it's good. It feels good to win.
Yeah, but we got some more butt kicking to do.
You're right. There is a lot more butt kicking that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, where would you like to see the butt kicking next?
To me, honestly, I would love for them to look at the medical industry. I think what we pay for pharmaceuticals and the treatment that we all receive compared to what we pay at hospitals, not just here, but throughout the U.S., is pathetic at best.
Yeah.
It's full of corruption. It's full of overpayments. It's full of nastiness. That's one, and it's right up there with the education department.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills me about education, and I haven't been involved with school in a long time, but I asked a student the other day, do they take government or ethics anymore in public school? He recently graduated and said, no, I don't remember that at all. He also couldn't tell me just some basic first, second, third amendment type questions.
Well, that's a lot of the population.
The problem is they don't want you to know, Joey.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know.
They don't want you to know. They want you to stay blissfully ignorant, but yet comforted. Like, here's some money.
Yeah.
Go get you some snacks. Here's some TV. Like, if you really want to be gross about it, there's other forms of entertainment where you can, get your rocks off and all that stuff. And just don't worry about the world.
Yep.
Just be comfortable in your own
That's how
slop.
they get you dependent on the government,
Mm-hmm.
which is what they really want.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's Elon Musk. Talk about winning. Really digging into this USAID, USA.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
apparently Trump has already agreed that, I think you got a point there, Elon, on this corrupt institution.
So really none of this could be done without the full support of the president. With regard to the USAID stuff, I went over it with him, in detail, and he agreed with that we should shut it down. I mean,
This was a conversation held at about 11 o'clock our time last night.
and that's I want to be clear. That's I actually checked with him a few times. Said, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes." So we're shutting it down. It's also incredibly politically partisan and has been supporting radical left causes throughout the world, including things that are anti-American, which is insane.
Right, and that's why, there are
This is the voice of Joni Ernst, senator from Iowa.
probably
She's the
some
one that does the nut cutting time. Like she used to geld hogs or whatever.
Okay.
You don't believe her?
Just the way you worded that, but yeah.
Geld?
Hogs.
Hogs? That was unintentional. I apologize if you have children in the car.
arguments to be made about what could be important work that falls under USAID. But the
Mhm.
fact of the matter is that it has been overshadowed by
Yes.
these bad actors.
Yes.
So if there are truly good pro-American programs, then let's move them to the State Department.
Exactly.
Let's make sure we have proper oversight.
Exactly.
Let's make sure that when senators and congressmen are asking for documents, that they provide them in a timely manner.
Yes.
Let's make sure the IGs are upfront and honest and wanting to be the watchdog over the agencies that they are charged with. I mean, this is not rocket scientist, and
Yes.
you're a rocket scientist.
This is simply common
Yep.
sense, and being responsive to the electorate, you just can't have these sort of institutions which are taking lots of taxpayer money, but then are not answerable to elected representatives of the public.
Now, happening live in the just happened moments ago in the Oval Office, Trump signs executive order for sovereign wealth fund. Fascinating. I think he really is leaning into this idea of leverage, like use the whole nation's wealth and ability to create wealth as leverage. Huh. We'll have to get into the details of that. Like, and seriously, it is like news coming out of a fire hose right now. It is absolutely unreal. But yeah, Trump, indeed, he essentially said, yeah, I'm not going with USAID. This happened, I believe, yesterday, where Trump was leaving Air Force One. And instead of like Joe Biden, everybody,
and coming down from the top steps there too, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Biden hadn't done that in quite some time.
Trump just immediately goes to reporter.
Oh, I love that.
We had a very busy weekend. We got the 6 hostages out of Venezuela, as you probably know. And they're very safe right now. They're home with their families. And we appreciate the hard work of a lot of people, including Rick Grinnell. We appreciate the cooperation from Venezuela. And we have some very happy people right now. Nobody thought that was going to happen. So they are home, they're safe, and they're with their families. That was a big one. Secretary of State Rubio is in Panama right now, and we're talking about the Panama Canal. What they've done is terrible. They violated the agreement. They're not allowed to violate the agreement. China's running the Panama Canal. That was not given to China. That was given to Panama foolishly. But they violated the agreement, and we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen. And as far as other things are concerned, as you know, we had a very busy weekend. We're dealing with Israel. We're dealing with Ukraine and Russia. We have meetings and talks scheduled with various parties, including Ukraine and Russia. And I think those discussions are actually going pretty well. The discussions on the Middle East with Israel and various and sundry other countries are progressing. Bibi Netanyahu is coming on Tuesday, and I think we have some very big meetings scheduled.
Do you feel that Elon Musk is delivering on his promises?
Is Elon delivering on his promises?
Good job right now with
I do. I think Elon's doing a good job. He's a big cost cutter. Sometimes we won't agree with it and we'll not go where he wants to go, but I think he's doing a great job. He's a smart guy, very smart, and he's very much into cutting the budget of our federal government.
Mr. President. You saw some retaliatory tariffs from Canada.
Say it?
You saw some retaliatory tariffs from Canada. There was a rider in the order. Are you planning to increase the tariffs against Canada?
Well, it could happen. If they do anything, we will. Canada's been very abusive of the United States for many years. They don't allow our banks. Did you know that? Canada does not allow banks to go in. If you think about it, that's pretty amazing. If we have a U.S. bank, they don't allow them to go in.
And it's like, and I hear people say this in a bad way, but it's like a freaking reality TV show. Like he's now, that was yesterday. This is him now, just right in front of God and everybody, the press corps, right there in the Oval Office, giving his opinion on so many things. Trump says he's now considering a TikTok deal.
Yeah.
Again, this is news like straight out of a fire hose.
On the USAID thing, I saw that this weekend. I guess I read it from Elon's tweets, but he thought it was hysterical that the workers go home on the weekend. It gives me free access to all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he even said one of his superpowers is working weekend. So when I worked at Hyundai, that was a big thing. We couldn't get a lot of things done during the week because you had so much oversight, so many people putting their fingers in the pie. Weekends were when we got things done. When I read that, it brought back memories, and it also made me realize, okay, I'm not the only one who thought that way.
Well, and Trump said that USAID is being run by a bunch of radical lunatics, so we're getting them out of there. We're getting them out of there.
I loved it.
And then here's Elon, again, on that conversation last night on X, talking about how they discovered USAID and what they're up to.
As we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it. but we have actually just a bowl of worms. And so at the point at which you don't merely, like if you've got an apple and it's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a bowl of worms, it's hopeless. And USAID is a bowl of worms. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing. That is why it's got to go. You know, it's beyond repair. So, yeah.
I love it.
A bowl of worms.
And by the way, Mike Benz, who we've played his clips before, he was doing a live stream last night, reading through like different funding sources.
Yeah.
You know how folks say the George Soros prosecutors?
Yes.
Like Soros has been funding all these DEAs around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what Mike Benz discovered live, his real time. I can't play it because he's dropping F-bombs. Like, I can't effing believe it. Guys, are they effing messing with me? I can't effing believe it. He says, quote, this push to prosecute Trump by Alvin Bragg.
Mm-hmm.
Soros was a minor co-funder. He gave them $10,000. That's it.
That's it?
The $14 million he gave to the parent company, the fiscal sponsor, Fair and Just Prosecution, a nonprofit that supports and influences progressive prosecutors in the U.S., well, that ain't shaving cream crap compared to the $27 million that USAID gave them. Wow. Every time you hear the word Soros prosecutors, know they're USAID prosecutors. Bill Kristol, you probably remember when he's on Fox News, the Weekly Standard, he tweeted out something like, I prefer the deep state to the Elon Musk state. And somebody immediately responded saying, Bill, why are you getting paid by USAID and what is this for? AOC is like, this is awful. This is awful. It's like, wait, AOC, it looks like you use AID funds to get your whole start in politics.
Yep.
Why is the federal government using all this money to essentially enhance the Democratic Party? I thought these things should be more like nonpartisan.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just charity. That's what you'll be told.
Of course.
This is going to help poor kids in foreign countries.
No. Don't forget about the condoms.
Right.
Don't ever forget about
Don't forget about the $50 million for condoms.
Right.
Which you got to wonder, was it really for the condoms or like what's actually going on there?
I would like to know when they started and can we study the birth rate of Pakistan during that time to see if they even did anything? Is it like peeing in the ocean and trying to turn it yellow? It ain't going to happen, man.
Now I'm going to try this Mike Benz clip here.
Okay.
He might
Keep
curse.
your finger on the button.
I might have to jump out of this, folks.
Okay.
But here's Mike Benz explaining USAID. There's no aid. It's not a charity. Let's listen in.
Your picture to people who've been subbed for a while, where I've described the inside of the blob. Now, what's going on in this picture? For people who are new here or just to freshen up for folks who need a reminder. This describes our trifecta of foreign policy establishments. And again, foreign policy just means the American empire instead of the American homeland. We are an empire that stretches the globe. We must manage our empire affairs, our vassal states, our markets. And so we have three big agencies in the government that do that. And none of these agencies are allowed to operate at home. Those are the State Department for U.S. national interests, the Defense Department, the Pentagon for national security.
Has he got Radiohead playing in the background?
Something like that in the background, yeah.
And our intelligence community, which provides covert or plausibly deniable assistance on national interest grounds or national security grounds. National security grounds meaning a military threat. National interest, if you remember, it's we want it, we got it. National interest means anything. Does it make us richer? Do we want it? Okay. Now, the part that I've left out of this to avoid confusion is a big old entity right in the middle of them.
So we're looking at a chart here, folks. State Department, DOD, Defense Department, and CIA. And a big old entity in the middle of them. What is that, Mike?
That entity is USAID.
USAID, USAID.
Now, USAID was created in the early 1960s by President John F. Kennedy because the American empire had been tripping over itself for some time, because when we set up the CIA in 1947 and we reframed the Department of War to the Department of Defense in 1947, and we began this creation, really expansion, dramatic expansion of the American empire abroad, outside, we had the DOD doing international development work, so to speak, for military reasons. We had the State Department doing international development work, if you will, humanitarian work, supporting local institutions for national interest reasons. And we had the CIA doing its own thing. So they were all tripping over each other. The Pentagon, the State Department, and the CIA were all tripping over each other. There was no centralized agency to coordinate all the different reasons that we run money into foreign countries to influence the course of events in those countries. Again, they all face outward. They're supposed to. What is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development, not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building.
So it's essentially the clearinghouse that sort of helps out the intelligence community, the State Department, and the Defense Department. And it's interesting. Then why is a lot of money coming back to like Americans at home?
Right.
Well, because you have all these NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that claim, well, we're doing things to help democracy around the world. We're spreading civic values and knowledge here in the United States, and we're trying to look for the next best and brightest. It's just,
well, they're failing.
I love that Elon Musk has gotten in there on the weekend when they went home and said, "Look at this ball of worms, Mr. President. You want to help me with this ball of worms here?"
And what are we, 2 weeks in? I mean, you talk about low-hanging fruit.
Wait till
he gets bored.
I don't know if I can handle all this wind. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
For many children, stability is something they have never experienced. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, we offer hope, healing, and a family to children in need. But behind every success story, our house parents are the heart of our ranches. We're looking for compassionate couples to join our mission. We provide housing, medical benefits, a 401k, paid vacation, and the chance to make a lasting difference. The Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches. Be the love, be the guidance, be the family they need. Visit alsyr.org.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather. Only a few days ago, we were in the deep freeze, but now it's springtime in February. Today's high up to about 76. A really nice Monday with plenty of sunshine. Mostly clear tonight, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow's high, 78. We'll take it. Mostly sunny skies. If we get to 82 on Wednesday, that ties the record. And 81 on Thursday would be record territory as well. Maybe a few spotty showers by Thursday afternoon. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low-price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with any and all issues when it comes to your roof.
Yep.
Now, the best way to use River Region Contracting, get them out there early. Get them out there often.
Oh, yeah.
Do basic preventative maintenance on that roof of yours. And it doesn't matter if it's a shingle asphalt roof or a metal roof.
Right.
Both can have unique problems. And the beauty of using River Region Contracting is when you find a problem early, if there is a problem, it's not going to be as expensive to fix. And you're probably not going to have a big old fight with your insurance company.
Correct.
But maybe you're like, well, how much money am I on the hook? I mean, I got it checked like a few years back. And, well, their inspections are always free.
Absolutely free.
At River Region Contracting. And their estimates are free. Say they find an issue, they'll write up that estimate for free. It's accurate. They show up on time. They get the job done well. Because I know you've seen folks, like after some of these contractors come out and there's, like bottles in the bushes and nails all over the place. Like, I've seen it.
Yep.
That's not the case with River Region Contracting. They do a job in a beautiful way. And they'll sit down with you, explain, here's exactly the problem, here's exactly how we're going to fix it. And if your insurance company is going to fight with you, they're insurance specialists. So they can walk you through that claims process and make it a swift and easy experience. So call them up today. That's River Region Contracting, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the great team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Tomorrow, just a reminder, Luis Elizondo will be returning to the show. We'll have Troy Carrico, his buddy, here in studio.
Excellent.
And there's so much more. If you want to get into Luis Elizondo's book yourself, the book is called Imminent. And it details, it's sort of a half detailing of what's going on with the UAP programs and the strangeness within the Defense Department and intelligence communities, like what they've been studying, what they've been looking into. Luis was part of what they call ATIP, one of these groups that were really looking into all these aerial phenomenon that can't be explained going back decades. But the book's also a little bit of a memoir, and a good one at that. The guy's led a pretty crazy life. But one thing I definitely want to focus on tomorrow is this sort of remote viewing conversation.
All right.
I don't know if I buy this. It seems on the face of it very far-fetched. But the idea, and they found this as they're going into the UAP stuff, is folks who have had encounters with these craft or whatever you want to call them, often will have what they call white matter damage to the brain.
Right.
And describe experiences of almost like a psychic voice in their head talking. And as they go through, like all the folks that had these encounters, they all had a particular parts of the brain that were enlarged compared to the average human. And a lot of these folks that encountered these craft, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, they were also part of the remote viewing programs. So it just makes me wonder, like, I don't know what's true about it. It's more just fascinating. Let's dig into this strange part of what the federal government has been doing for all these decades. And I'm definitely also going to be asking Luis. He'll be on from 1 to 3 tomorrow. So about this time, a little after this time, I want to get into what's the latest next big thing. Like, if you could disclose a thing, not like you can't disclose it on the show, but if you could hope for senators and congressmen and the president to really put some stuff out there, are there certain things he could characterize that he would love to see released to the public? Definitely going down that rabbit hole. And who knows what's going to break in the news? Like, I mean, given Luis Elizondo's background as well as Troy Carrico's, it'd be fun to kick around the Panama Canal and Greenland and all the other things happening very, very quickly. But you just mentioned 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, Mexico caved.
Yep.
Panama caved. Oh, and they caved big time. Not only are they opening up and giving priority and free entry to U.S. naval vessels, they've now canceled their membership in the Belt and Road Initiative,
which is
with China.
Okay, all that is, because I've seen a lot of other countries fall for that. It is just a scam. They are going to give you a loan that they know you cannot pay back, but you've got land up for collateral, and they're going to take that land. I've seen it happen, and countries fall for it. They fall for it every time.
So Mexico caved?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Panama caved? Colombia, you remember that whole episode? Colombia caved?
That was a funny one.
Venezuela caved?
In fact, Venezuela said, hey, if you want to send those guys here, I'll put them in my prison.
Wasn't some like 300,000 people that have lost that temporary protective status?
And we got Guantanamo Bay's going to fill up again.
So those are the ones that cave. Canada panicking?
I didn't use maple syrup this morning.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is that the only place you can get it?
True maple syrup. Yeah, they have a whole maple syrup bank, the whole thing. Yeah.
It's
a huge cartel.
Is it just full of maple syrup and like
Yes.
candies? Maple
thousands,
syrup candies are
thousands of gallons of maple syrup.
Are you a maple syrup guy? Like on pancakes or like flavoring? Like maple syrup, like Jimmy Dean sausage?
Yeah, I like it, but I don't go out of the way. I was poor. We were raised on Cairo syrup until I was in my 20s. I didn't know there was any other thing out there besides clear Cairo syrup. So,
by the way, Canada is freaking out. Canada
Yeah.
is very much freaking out. Here's Chrystia Freeland on with Fareed Zakaria. She is the contender to replace Justin Trudeau as Canada's prime minister. Let's listen in.
So Donald Trump says, thank you. Donald Trump says that the reason he's doing this is, the ask, and this is the justification, is the fentanyl trade, the fentanyl that is coming in from Canada and Mexico. The bizarre part about this is not a lot of fentanyl comes into the United States from Canada. I mean, I think the latest numbers we have, it's 43.
Wait, are you saying that one of the concerns Trump is raising may not be like literally true? He might actually be up to something?
Shocker. Troll much?
Yeah, and maybe he knows something too that aren't on the official numbers.
Yes, he does.
43 pounds coming out of Canada and 21,000.
See, what they're citing is fentanyl seized
Not
by
going
U.S.
through.
officials.
Right.
Not amount of fentanyl going through.
And
amount seized by U.S. officials.
And what have we learned about cartels? They have inside people.
Right. And how many folks do we have on the northern border to look out for this stuff?
Not much. I've gone through that border
Right.
several times. It's
right. What, the Mounties are going to stop the fentanyl?
Stop. Yes. The Canadian Royal Mounties.
Coming out of Mexico. So what you've negotiated with Donald Trump before over the NAFTA renewal renegotiation. Why is he doing this to Canada? What is the motivation? It can't really be fentanyl.
You're absolutely right,
Can't be.
Fareed. The pretexts are utterly ludicrous. This action is utter madness. It is a betrayal of America's closest friend, of your ally, your neighbor, your best partner in the whole world.
Not hardly.
It is an
Our
act-
best partner in the
Not
whole
hardly.
world.
They're America's top hat at best.
Wait, did she just call my plans madness?
51.
I'm the mad president.
of economic warfare.
Mhm.
And the president was clear just this morning that it is a direct attack on our sovereignty. And I have to tell you, Fareed, Americans are going to be astonished by the Canadian response. We're hurt for sure because we're
They
good
did
friends
boo
and
the national
neighbors.
anthem twice.
Oh, no.
But most of all,
For
we're
hockey,
angry,
right?
And we are united.
Yeah, by the way, hockey's the one sport you go to see folks not play hockey but get in fights.
Hockey's a great sport. The manly sport.
Actually, it is pretty great in person.
It is. Yeah, in person.
Yeah.
On
TV, I
TV,
get
it's
bored. I get
tough.
bored.
It's tough.
In person, it's a great thing.
Yeah,
to
'cause there's
watch.
so much else going on.
Yeah. But didn't they used to have literal fight nights and stuff? Like that was playing?
Well, there's enforcers. You still have guys
Oh,
on the
right,
team.
right.
Their whole point
Right.
of being on the team is an enforcer.
Right.
Those are my faves.
Anyways, is she really going, Americans are going to be astounded by the Canadian response?
They don't care. We get some building industry from Canada. We get some maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to allow Ryan Reynolds to star in movies anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
resolute.
Mm.
You know, Canada is the true north, strong and free. We love our country and we are united. We are strong. We're smart. We're going to fight for our country. We're going to fight for Canada and we're going to be successful.
Trump is saying, we're not treated well by Canada.
She sounded like Stuart Smalley. I am smart. I am smart. We are good people. I'm smart.
So again, 2 weeks in, Mexico cave, Panama cave, Colombia cave, Venezuela cave,
Yes.
Canada panicking, mass deportation.
What did China say?
What did China say?
Okay.
Yeah.
They literally said, okay.
Wait. Yeah, we're China. We'll just eat it.
They literally said,
yeah, we kind of want to just keep exporting, give people something to do.
10%? Okay.
Oh, no, our margins shrunk a little bit on our profit. Yeah, we still want to be in the U.S. market.
Yeah.
But hostages are coming home,
Yes.
are home. DEI programs ended, which, I mean, how will people be able to, like, get jobs and opportunity?
By merit, by skill.
And you're saying that there are a lot of people, white, black, brown, otherwise, that have a lot of merit and skill?
Yes, there are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are.
You sure you claiming that it's going to be all about merit and skill isn't just a way of saying Whitey's back? We're whiting out the country?
No, I've lost jobs to people that have more merit and skill than I do. So as long as that's a reason
Yeah,
for
but
losing a job, I'm not mad about
I
it.
saw a clip of that fat little dwarf, Roland Martin, the other day. And he's like, just listen to it. You can just hear the racism when they talk about the merit.
I don't hear it.
Bureaucracy slashed. FBI purges are underway. Just 2 weeks, folks. USAID funding canceled. Gender ideology eliminated. Doge has already saved billions. Billions. 51 intel agents have lost their clearance.
Yes. That was one of my favorite moves, too.
Border crossings have dropped by 93%.
Dude, they had like 600 the other day. 600.
Oh, and the reservoirs are filled up in California.
Yeah. It's not, after all, it is just a valve you got to turn. Is that simple?
But Trump said it, so it just seems it's obviously a joke. Like
he had to literally go tell the guy, you go to this building and turn this valve.
Yeah, and this list left off the Secretary General of NATO saying, yeah, Denmark, you should negotiate about who's controlling Greenland for security reasons.
Yeah.
That would strengthen NATO. But he wants to pull out of NATO. He hates, okay.
What about the who?
It just keeps happening faster and faster and faster.
It's like a snowball. Going downhill, buddy.
It is fantastic to behold. 272-9228 if you want to get in on all this winning. We have a few comments rolling in. No! Gumptown John, good to hear from you, man. I have Schadenfreude towards the progressive talking heads melting down over Trump's victory. Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for them at all.
Oh, no, not really. Kind of comical.
Seriously, I'd have sympathy for the average kind of lib who's just liberal because that's how they are. They're not that into politics. They're like, what's going on? Why are people being mean? Like, I kind of feel sympathy for you. But for like Al Sharpton, Schadenfreude.
Nothing there, buddy.
Rachel Maddow, Schadenfreude. Ralph Hughes says, Schadenfreude. Shame there's no equivalent in English. It's a good word. It really is. And you can go to a thing called Google Ngrams.
Mm-hmm.
So like you type in the word Schadenfreude, it will show you the usage of that word in all published literature going back to 1800.
Oh, that's nothing new.
And no, it's very new. Yeah, Schadenfreude is a very new word.
From the 1800s.
Well, no, it's really starts being in use in like the 1980s.
Oh, okay.
And it's gone up
Oh,
like
they're right
crazy.
there with Farford Newton.
Hmm?
Farford Newton.
Farford Newton?
Or Far From Poopin', whichever one you went with, yeah.
Go home, Canada. You're drunk, says Gumtown John. Mm-hmm. Indeed, they are. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. Don't you hate it? You're trying to relax, go to bed, and you see a cockroach scamper across the floor of the bathroom.
Worse is that when they...
and you can't catch it. It gets away.
Worse than that when they fall on you.
Or
You're laying
fly
in bed.
across the
Yeah,
room.
they just...
Or how about the nightmare that is waking up to a termite swarm?
That ain't good, Joey.
Because if you have a swarm in your house, that means they've been eating through your house.
Big party. Big party.
So here's the deal. If you're looking to get ahead of termite season, if you're looking to get ahead of any infestation, you need to go with Pest Pro Services. Not only are they great, skilled professionals there at Pest Pro, they're also great local folks. So when you spend your money with Pest Pro, it's staying here in the local community. And just ask Eddie. Just ask me. Just ask so many folks who have used Pest Pro. They really get the job done well. And again, they're easy to work with, whatever your concerns. But it's always best to be preemptive about this stuff. As we turn the corner into termite season, before you know it's going to be so warm, the mosquitoes will be coming back too. You need to have Pest Pro Services on the mind. Call them up today. Make them your regular pest control company at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, very active Facebook page, where they're giving a lot of tips and tricks what to look out for in particular seasons when it comes to those pests, as well as all the great things they do for the community there at Pest Pro Services. And when you call them up, be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those guys on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Trump and Mexican President Sheinbaum said that their planned tariffs were on hold for a month to give time for further negotiations. The tariffs against Canada and China are still slated to go into effect on Tuesday. A senior official claims that Ukrainian long-range drones have struck one of Russia's biggest oil refineries for the second time in just 3 days. Russian authorities have acknowledged only a brief fire at the Volgograd refinery during the drone attack. 2 weeks after the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel took effect, aid is flooding into the Gaza Strip, but aid workers say it's still an uphill battle to ensure that assistance reaches everyone. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 89 points, the Nasdaq off 200. This is SRN News.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. Man's best friend deserves nothing but the best. That's what you'll find at MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville. They carry only the highest quality dog food brands. MPM in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Starting February 1st, MPM will be open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Only a few days ago, we were in the deep freeze, but now it's springtime in February. Today's high up to about 76, a really nice Monday with plenty of sunshine. Mostly clear tonight, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow's high, 78. We'll take it. Mostly sunny skies. If we get to 82 on Wednesday, that ties the record. And 81 on Thursday would be record territory as well. Maybe a few spotty showers by Thursday afternoon. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
Folks, welcome back to the program. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Hey, Joey, having a great day. Been listening to your show, and yeah, markets are spooked a little bit, and was going to talk a little bit about that. I think that Trump does what he says he's going to do, and he's been telegraphing to the world that tariffs are coming, and all of a sudden the markets are shocked when it happens. I can't say that I'm surprised to see it come or the reaction of the market, but for those out there that were trying to call us bluff and saying you won't do it, I mean, how many times have we had to play this game and learn this lesson?
Right, and it also does. It's like a yo-yo where it's like the tariffs are on, but actually it's a negotiating tool. Mexico's already caved to it. And then in general, though, keeping the tariffs on, is this like just one-to-one, you're going to have more inflation on the consumer, or is it more complicated than that?
It's not much more complicated, but if you really want to get into the economics, you can make it as complicated as you want. But I always try to simplify it for clients. And really what tariffs do in the way that Trump is trying to impose them is it exports inflation. So inflation has been largely a domestic problem for us, due to quantitative easing and printing money. And to offload some of the inflation to, the global economy, you have to make them feel it as well, and that's done through tariffs. And so it is a yo-yo. It is a negotiating tactic, but also it's exporting inflation, and the biggest threat right now to domestic economy is inflation. And I think that spreading out inflation globally is a good start to solving the problem, but the ultimate problem is only going to be solved through immense growth. And I think that early in Trump's term, the strategy is to export inflation, try to stabilize the domestic economy, and then really simultaneously try to grow through some of these partnerships, even global partnerships, repatriate some more money and things like that. But we have, been saying, Brant and I both, over the last couple of months, that it's going to be tough in the early portion of Trump's term to get control of economics. And now we're starting to see just how tough it is. But I think he's doing the necessary evil of, the market's going to go down before it goes up. We all know it. Anyone that studies economics knows it. And he's going ahead and biting the bullet, and there's going to be some volatility ahead. And so we just need to buckle up, and hopefully the sooner we take the pain, the sooner we can recover.
Well, and folks, if you're looking for this sort of expertise and insight, not just when it comes to investment in the markets, but say a holistic approach to planning your long-term financial future, you need to go with Invista Advisors. And you can always go to InvistaAdvisors.com to see more of what they have to offer. But, of course, you should just call them up direct, 387-0094. And when you call them up at 387-0094, be sure to tell them that, hey, I heard Austin Branco talking with Joey Clark. I really want to have a conversation about my financial future.
Yeah, really appreciate the support, Joey. And like I said, you've been sending folks our way, and just can't thank you enough. So talk to you Wednesday.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you then. Again, folks, that's Austin Branco with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A juvenile male has been killed and a man seriously injured in a Montgomery shooting. The incident happened Saturday night in the 1200 block of Eastern Boulevard near Carmichael Road. The juvenile, whose age has not been released, was pronounced dead at the scene. An unidentified man was also taken to the hospital in critical condition, suffering from a gunshot wound. Suspect and motive unknown. A Montgomery tax preparer has been sentenced for filing false tax returns. 47-year-old Natasha LaShawn Crawford was sentenced to 30 months in federal prison. Crawford admitted that she included false information in tax returns filed on behalf of herself and others when she owned on-time professional tax service. Central Alabama Crime Stoppers has doubled the cash reward to $10,000 for information in a shooting that left a child critically injured. The young boy, whose exact age was not released, was shot near Virginia Loop Road in the 3200 block of Raintree Drive around 12:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell,
What are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
They've been performing for over 60 years, and on Saturday, February 22nd, they'll be performing for you. It's Exile live at the Impact. From their origins in pop to their success in country, don't miss Exile live on stage for one night only. It's Exile live at the Impact on Saturday night, February 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Impact box office and Ticketmaster.com.
I'm Wiley Dempsey. I own Carter's World here in Montgomery. I've been here for over 10 years. We recently moved across town to 6383 Atlanta Highway. Without Blue Water, we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we are. They got the message out to thousands of people.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Shut up, silly woman.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we call this show online, Joey Clark Live. You can always tune in online on YouTube at Joey Clark Live or on the X platform. And it looks like we have somebody on the phone here, 272-9228. We've got Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Eric? I think we lost him.
Hola. Or he probably called us while he's at work.
I'm sure he did. He's probably, I hope he's got his inhaler on, blocking the paint fumes. If not, he just might be sweet dreaming it right now.
You think, can you get like silly off inhaling too much of that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
People do that?
Oh, yeah. Intentionally, not intentional, but yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah. But yeah.
And we start talking about the fumes and he has to hang up.
Reality, kid. He didn't want nobody to come kill his party.
Actually, you're on the air. Who's this?
Soldier Boy.
Hey, Soldier Boy. What's up, man?
Let me ask you a question. How is it I can get you, then you put me on hold, and then I can't get you? I haven't changed any settings.
Wait, say that again?
How is it I don't change any of the settings, and then suddenly you guys can't hear me, and I'm looking, the mute button's not hit. You're not hearing anything, correct?
No, we hear you loud and clear right now.
Yeah. Don't freak me out now, because I'm going to throw my phone out the window.
No, it's not on your end. It's us. It's not you.
Oh, good.
We got 1970s technology.
You've heard that lie before, right?
And my telephone bill is paid for, so I don't know what the hell their problem is.
But are you ready for all this winning? Just 2 weeks in, all this winning?
All this what?
Winning.
Winning of what? Okay,
all the great things. Mexico caved. Panama's caved.
Hey, first of all, Mexico's smart. Okay.
Nobody called them dumb.
And I love Mexican food. I mean,
me too. Had some great stuff this weekend.
The enchiladas with some nice sour cream on top and extra cheese on top. Oh,
guacamole.
That's true. I like getting like chorizo, queso with some sour cream and guac on the side too.
What is up with Trudeau? Is his daddy really Castro?
He
right
looked
now his
like
daddy
it,
is Donald Trump.
He what?
Right now his daddy is Donald Trump.
You ain't lying. Here's what I don't understand. Is he that stupid? I guess he's used to wearing blackface and going on the internet with a turban on his head. You know that picture you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
How is he that stupid to realize who's the number one consumer in this freaking planet? You want to threaten us, really?
Right.
I mean, I guess Mr. Trump needs to send him a copy of The Art of the Deal, okay? In the first 2-3 chapters, it talks about the art of leverage. You don't have any leverage.
None.
I mean, you make pretty decent beer, you know, but it's not Germany beer, you know what I'm talking about?
They do got
You know,
decent beer. I'll give them that.
Yeah, but it's not like Germany. Germany beer. I love that. No, but he's sitting there talking all big talk. I said, boy, you better shut your mouth. Trump ain't going to flinch.
Nope. No reason to.
No, and if y'all retaliate, there's already trigger mechanisms in the latest announcement to re-retaliate.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just so funny that you want to threaten the big man instead of just quietly. He's stepping down anyway and have his position, Prime Minister, his party.
Yeah, and that's where they're in a tough spot. The lady we played earlier with Fareed Zakaria's Christina Freeland, she's trying to run to replace Trudeau, and then you have Pierre Poilievre, who had a little more. He had a little more reasonable.
Very reasonable
response to Trump.
I really like him.
Okay, because he said, he's like Monty Hall, and let's make a deal.
Yeah, well, it was more like, come on, we are friends, and let's work this out, sort of thing.
Not
So
excited
he's
at
not
all.
stupid he's not stupid like Trudeau. So the party,
complete opposite.
his party is probably happy he's leaving. Like, he's not representing us. Whoa. And he's not representing us. But this new people, I guess who's a new person that's replacing him is a little more willing to negotiate and talk and be flexible.
The female that's scheduled, I don't think so much, but the other fellow, yeah.
Well, and who knows what actually happens in the back room? Because Mexico is like, hey, we're not budging, we're retaliating, and all of a sudden we've caved, and now we're sending 10,000 troops to the border, and we're gonna do negotiations. And I love that it's just a pause.
Yeah,
it's like you got a window, you got a month to negotiate this.
We'll suspend it.
No,
we can come to terms, we're good.
Mr. Trump's letting them have a little bit of a little testosterone there and flex a little bit for his people. You know, like, hey, I stood up to Mr. Trump. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what I tell you.
Right.
Yeah, it was just complete opposite of what we're used to dealing with.
Remember last time he was in office, did he not have Mexican soldiers down on the border?
Yes.
He told them, you either go by our rules or you don't play the game, and they'll shut him down.
And I think Sheinbaum came out with some ridiculous statement that Mexico's not compromised by the cartels.
Run by him.
Right. As he looks to his left and his right, hoping nobody's fixing to kill him from the cartel.
Make sure my body armor is nice, straight for the photographs.
This is what they want me to say.
Yeah, because I don't think the cartel wants to mess with Mr. Trump.
Well, they're about to find out.
They're about to find out. Yep. And there's a lot of people on this side eager for that to happen.
My goodness, it's going to be ugly.
For a minute.
I mean, you got a bunch of gangsters there with some good weapons because they buy it off the market, and everything. But you don't know what military you're dealing with.
Right. We don't run out of ammo.
They're going to run out of ammo.
We don't run out of ammo.
No, we don't. We just go make some more and buy some more.
Right.
And we do what we got to do. And what does that do? Creates jobs. That's right.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't understand Trudeau flexing his muscle. I was like, dude, you're on your way out. Just shut your mouth and go home. If you want to flex one more time. Jesus.
That doesn't do any good.
It's a weird flex is what it is. It's kind of weak.
Yep.
Well,
it is weak. Well, you know what you need to do, don't you? You know what you need to do? You need to go to Montgomery, that place, get testosterone.
Montgomery
Men's Health.
That's where he needs to go.
Definitely.
He needs to go there, get his testosterone check, because he's flexing and he ain't got nothing to flex.
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it, Soldier
See you,
Boy.
bud.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
How you doing?
Hey, brother, let me get you off speakerphone so I can talk to you.
All right.
How about that?
All right.
Doing good.
I tell you what you got to love is like China taking all those Chinese writings off of their construction and buildings and everything else down in Panama now.
Yep.
As fast as they possibly can. Just, oh, no, we're not involved in China. No. See? We're not involved in Panama.
It's going to keep going, too.
Oh, my word. Look, I'm telling you, and probably they're more gangster style toward Panama than Panama would be willing to admit. You know, payoff, yeah, but extortion times two, you know, when it comes to this kind of thing, because that's the way they operate.
Right.
So Trump is absolutely 1,000% right to kick their little fannies out of there.
Yep.
And I hope he does it quick. So Mexico, Canada, same thing. They're going to have to go ahead and we're friends with them, but they are frenemies with us.
Yes.
Anybody that's going to send fentanyl across the border or allow it to come across, they're not your friend. Yeah, that's because that's a big party foul right there. So they got to get righteous about some things, and I think Trump's right to confront them about it. But anyway,
definitely.
I digress from what I really called about, and that is the FBI. Lord have mercy, the mess that they have been in is starting to spill out all over the headlines. Look at what all we're starting to find out.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things I noticed this weekend was they had withheld evidence in the OJ trial. Unbelievable. They had evidence, they had witness that they withheld on purpose. I mean, a witness that saw OJ, saw him with a item wrapped up, throwing it in a garbage can, real near what slaying took place. And there was some other evidence that had, I wouldn't doubt, I bet you the FBI, they might even have the weapon. But, even if they don't, withholding evidence is bad enough. How dare they? What were they doing? What kind of thinking? Why would you think they would do that, Joey? Just take a wild guess.
Guilty?
Why would the FBI withhold evidence or not allow the evidence to come forward?
Fit their narrative.
There you go.
It fit a narrative.
They got a
Not
certain way that they want people to think, and they don't want that affected. Now, you'll have to ask them whatever psychopath reasons they might have, whether it be, we don't want a race war, or we won't, we don't like the idea of, having OJ being characterized as such, and, that might reflect poorly on, the black race somehow, or some kind of whacked out thing like that. But that is just insane. And, this is just the least, I think, of what we're going to find out, actually.
Oh, yeah, and so far, 20 FBI executive assistant directors and assistant director special agents have been forced out of the agency. FBI agents are apparently in panic and planning a protest today at the Washington field office and headquarters. Have we seen the protest yet?
I have not. No.
Wait, is that going to be Patriot Front, the fake...
Be careful. Ray Epps going to be there?
The fake white nationalist?
Ray Epps.
Watch out if Ray Epps might show up. There ain't a party until Ray shows up.
And, all of that, and I would correct you. They're not retiring. They're running for their very lives, son.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're running. Panic was the right word. What was that book Comey wrote? A higher calling.
Yes.
Oh yes. We don't have to adhere to the Constitution. We've got a higher calling. Holy cow! I cannot believe it, and I'm just so thankful that all of it is going to come out.
Yep.
This has been needing to happen. Washington has way too many secrets that they've been keeping, and we all need to find out about it, because in the end, this is supposed to be the government of the people here. So anyway, all right. Enjoy the rant.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
Very cathartic. All right, bye.
See you, bud.
272-9228. I mean, we should check in on the Democrats, how they're doing. Let's go to a clip here. This is from that whole DNC meeting to pick new heads of the party.
May the endless, boundless energy of the universe wrap around you with awe and love and well-becoming. Amen, Ashe, Amin, and may we together make it so.
Sounds like a winner to me there, Eddie.
One of the highlights was watching those that were running for whatever they were coming out and giving them the.
Did you hear that one lady for her opening statement just went into song?
Yes, that's what I found it so interesting. They just take any nut job and put them up there.
And then, of course, they elected this guy like the vice chair or something like that.
But does it really mean anything?
David Hogg? Probably not. That's what I thought.
Are you ready to go on the offense? Yeah! Are you ready to go on the offense? Yeah! We have to win back our young people. I am the only candidate in this race for any of these positions that is under 30. We had a 20-point shift to the right of our young people.
Yep.
We must show our young people we give a damn about them, that we support them, and we invest in them. I have raised over $11 million in the past year to support the future of our party, because I don't just tweet, I don't just talk the talk, I also walk the walk and I knock the knock in doors across the country, but I'm counting on you in this moment right now. I need your support. Please vote for me. Thank you so much.
Maybe it's just my ignorance, but it just seems all so fake. They're not even the guys that are really in charge of that party. Those folks don't come in until, last minute.
Right.
What are they doing? They're just pretending?
Yeah, a lot of people like to pretend.
Well, I just check and make sure I ain't crazy. 'Cause I see no one there that I'll probably ever see again.
I think the problem with the Democratic Party, nationally speaking, especially with young people, is the sticks up their butts.
Way out of touch, my friend.
Yeah.
Way out of touch.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I mean, we'll see. But y'all can keep trying all the stuff that you've been trying. And people freaking out, by the way, now on Elon Musk. It's fantastic.
They're doubling down on the message that didn't win. That's not going to work.
No, it's not.
It wasn't your messaging. It was the massage. Or message, whatever.
272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation. How about this? Let's hit a break.
Right.
We'll be right back, folks.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the health care of the people of the River region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the River region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Winter is officially here and it's cold. Make sure your system is ready for the winter. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125 or go to clarkcomfort.com. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Only a few days ago, we were in the deep freeze, but now it's springtime in February. Today's high up to about 76. A really nice Monday with plenty of sunshine. Mostly clear tonight, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow's high, 78. We'll take it. Mostly sunny skies. If we get to 82 on Wednesday, that ties the record. And 81 on Thursday would be record territory as well. Maybe a few spotty showers by Thursday afternoon. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, it is interesting how as soon as Doge started finding some juicy things, that all of a sudden the doxing begins. So Doge turns off the spigot, billions of dollars being funneled to NGOs, and the Doge staff gets immediately doxxed. That's a threat, right?
It's what they do now.
And they send it to Wired.
Oh.
And here's just the paragraph. Wired has identified 6 young men, all apparently between the ages of 19 and 24, according to public databases, their online presences and other records, who have little to no government experience and are now playing critical roles in Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency project, tasked by executive order with modernizing federal technology and software to maximize governmental efficiency and productivity. The engineers all hold nebulous job titles within Doge, and at least one appears to be working as a volunteer. Oh, no. Wait, so you mean like some young geniuses who are probably IQ 140, 150, who are essentially like dogs with a scent? Wait, efficiency? Yes, boss. Okay, yes, sir. Apparently working like madmen around the clock.
Dude, that's what some people love that. That's what they dig. And to be able to pay to do that and saving me money.
And they have no government experience, though.
Oh,
no.
Right. Maybe, just maybe, that's a good thing. Maybe occasionally you should have people from outside your organization take a look at your organization.
Especially when it's been incredibly unaccountable,
right,
and the outcomes for everyday people have been pretty miserable for a while.
Yes.
Not to mention like the outcomes of our foreign policy, the outcomes of our domestic, say, policy and how we actually help people,
right,
and whatnot. Yeah. Is it the most efficient it could be? Is there fraud and abuse in a lot of the payments?
But shouldn't that be a goal somewhere in there to be efficient?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's listed as a goal.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's Elon on his little Twitter Spaces, and it made me so happy when this showed up at 11. The first person in there is Vivek Ramaswamy.
Good.
Because there was that whole press cycle of like, Elon and Vivek are at odds, and he got forced out because Vivek talks too much, which actually wouldn't surprise me. But I think they're clearly on good terms.
Obviously would be. They have many more commonalities than they do.
And what makes me very happy is so much of the few months Vivek helped put together, actually.
Right.
And it has his fingerprints all over it if you actually followed that guy and what he's been wanting to do. But here is Musk describing, well, how much they're hoping to save.
I'm optimistic that we'll see a material impact in FY26, which starts in October. You know, a lot of the stuff I think we'll make significant gains in FY25, government financial year 25, which ends in September.
And by the way, I found it adorable. I don't know if it's Vivek's kids or Elon's kids. You can hear them playing in the background. It's probably Vivek's kids.
But I think that like we're the sort of metric we're tracking, sort of kind of startup style or just. And we're going to be posting more and more detail on the Doge website and Doge handle on X is just in so people can see in detail like this is where we're seeing the delta in spending between current spending and government financial year 25 or 26 which starts in October, and that number is really, you know, we think it's at this point over $1 billion a day, maybe $2 billion, maybe approaching $3 billion
a day.
I think we can take $1 trillion out of the deficit next year. Like, wow. You know, obviously this is going to require, you know, strong support from the president, but thus far we certainly have that, and also support of the Congress, and support, and also hopefully support from the judiciary as well. But it's I mean basically the goal in a nutshell is pretty straightforward. It's like we have a $2 trillion deficit, which is far in excess of economic growth. If we can get that deficit in half, from 2 trillion to 1 trillion, and we can get the economic growth to match that 1 trillion growth in the money supply, that means there will be no inflation, and also that interest rates will drop, credit card interest down, mortgage interest down, car payment interest down, and prices at the store stay the same. That is a great outcome for people, and I think we can. I think we can do it.
I love it, and I love too that a lot of this is just wide open. Like millions of people could tune in, listen to Elon Vivek and Senator Ernst and Senator Lee talk this stuff out.
What time was it last night?
At 11 o'clock at night. But of course, it's recorded. You can go find it right now.
Yeah.
And go listen. I listened to it this morning. It's about 50 minutes long, and it's pretty good. It really is sort of an inside look at how these people are thinking. For instance, here's Vivek, because he's now thinking about being a governor. Really thinking this through. Let's listen in. This is Vivek Ramaswamy on that Spaces call, whatever you want to call it.
It's possible to game the regulations. So I think in addition to that executive order, which I certainly applaud, I think we need to go in and do wholesale removal of regulations. Like regulations basically should be default gone. Yes. Default gone, not default there, default gone. And if it turns out that we missed the mark on a regulation, we always add it back in. These regulations are added willy-nilly all the time. So we just got to do wholesale spring cleaning of regulation and get the government off the backs of everyday Americans, so people can get things done, and the government doesn't have a sort of boot on the neck of the average Americans, which is because, you know, what are the you know, the core founding values of this country? What has made America great? What will lead to further greatness is a focus on merit, that you get ahead as a function of your hard work and skill, and that you have freedom. It's free. It's both the land of freedom and opportunity, and if the government has millions of regulations holding everyone back, well, it's not freedom. We've got to restore freedom.
And by the way, that's copied, multiplied, and 50-fold higher, where each of the 50 states then do the same thing.
Yes.
And many of these federal regulations are duplicative of the states doing the exact same thing, where the bureaucracies in each of the states are behaving like the federal government. So you think about the impact on people.
Remember we had Shanna in for the venison charitable project they're doing. how they had to not only deal with the USDA, but also the Alabama Department of Agriculture.
And there's the issue.
And I think it's much easier, honestly, at the end of the day, for her to get in touch with Rick Pate and people in his office and be done with it. But instead, you're having to deal with two masters for the same exact issue.
And the problem she has is one says, I don't see a problem with it, and you can't get a hold of the other one. You can't get the two parties together.
Right.
That becomes an issue.
Man, and I love that these guys, again, in front of God and everybody, with millions of people paying attention, are actually laying it out there.
People's lives, it just layers one on top of the other. And, like you talk about zero-based budgeting, I really like this concept of zero-based regulations where the default is nothing and build back on top.
Man, it's refreshing to hear. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you men out. Could be you're feeling a whole basket of symptoms. I know it can happen to anybody, by the way. It's not like, all of a sudden this just happened when I turned like 50.
Right.
That happens naturally. You start producing less testosterone, your body's going to start changing. And if you want to keep that edge like you had when you were younger, of course, Montgomery Men's Health can help you there. But a lot of guys in their 20s and 30s are feeling this whole confluence of symptoms that really point to low T, like no motivation, no energy, no drive, no sex drive to speak of. You literally just don't have the life force, the libido to get out there and enjoy yourself in this world. Seeing them at weight gain, loss of muscle mass. Again, it's physical and mental just weariness. Like you feel like you're walking through your life in a fog. And knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99, and they have low T treatments there that can truly change men's lives. Really, it's a quick blood draw, and they'll get you your score, and if you are low, they'll give you an option of treatments.
That's right.
Depending on which direction you want to go. And after these treatments, men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido.
That's all right.
And a lot right with that. Just all right. That's like all right.
Good.
So y'all call them up today. Make an appointment. You can actually book the same day that you call. 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Let's go to line 1 here on there. Who's this?
This is Urbanite.
Hey, Urbanite.
Okay, on the tap dancing around our victory laps, we got to think about 2 years from now with the congressional elections.
Yeah.
Because if this is going to work, we got to make sure no matter what Trump does, Vance is ready to take over. And that's how we get the time. We'll get the full 8 years consistently then.
So you're playing this out of, say, Republicans lose the Congress, they impeach Trump or remove him or something.
If we don't watch the rhetoric and watch how we look to John Q. Public and, the oligarchy stuff is starting to take hold. I'm hearing people, business owners, especially black business owners, who, kind of scared of what they did when they voted for him. Because he's starting to get unhinged again. And we need to keep him, he needs to be kept in a very narrow band of being himself, because it's going to turn the people off to the point we're going to lose Congress and the Senate later on. And in order to make this thing work, it's got to be Trump 4 years, then Vance's 8 years, and maybe people won't be sick of Republicans by the end, because at that point we'd be cultivating a new generation. You'll have a new generation of voters at that point, a la Reagan style.
I kind of see your point where you're saying, because I do too. I've seen Trump kind of being Trump.
Yeah, the thing he did in D.C. after the crash was just wrong. I'm sorry, I don't care what party you in, that was wrong.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you do the DEI stuff. You handle that stuff in politics, but to do that with the bodies floating in the water is just tacky.
Well, I mean, I think he made the comment that most Americans had on their mind. That
was about as bad as the year I was in Denver when they had the big plane crash in Denver, and remember it was an NFL strike, and they were about to play football that night. They literally had a Orange Crush pep rally at the airport with the body bags in the background. Our own Jeff Shear was the guy. He was starting off as a new reporter over in Denver back then. Remember Jeff Shear from WSFA?
Oh yeah, I remember him. I don't remember that particular incident, but it didn't.
He was a total nobody with the 5 a.m. report. But at that 5 a.m. report, which went into like 7 in the morning, which is the drive home, the drive, what do you call it, the commuter time, when people go into work and grab, they do a Elway Orange Crest Denver Broncos pep rally at the airport where they were recovering the bodies from the crash that earlier I think the day before. That's how tacky that was.
It sounds that way, but at this particular time, with Trump saying what he said, just everyday American Eddie didn't bother me the least bit.
Well, and I also don't think it's going to come down to stuff you say. I think it comes down to results in the long run.
That's what I think too. Once the actions kick in and we're winning, we're good.
It's okay to win. It's great to get results, but you have to watch that tone, though.
I suppose, but I think a lot of folks have tuned out from the old sources and are on to new media in many ways. It's why I think the election victory was so big, and why right now the Democratic Party's numbers are in the toilet. Like, really?
And we want to keep them in the toilet.
Sure.
But we keep them in the toilet by letting them know that Washington's on their side.
Well, and I would humbly tell the black business owners that you're talking to that what Trump and Elon are taking on is the oligarchy. The oligarchy isn't just a bunch of rich people. It's an unaccountable group of essentially clerics that haven't had to account for their actions for decades within the administrative state.
I agree. Hey, by the way, Joe, I know by the time you came along, it wasn't popular, but did you ever read Mein Kampf?
No, I've read excerpts, but no, I've not read the whole thing.
You ever read the part of, did you see any excerpts about Hitler wanted everybody who went in government to have at least 5 years in the public sector before they took a government job? I always thought that was very fascinating, that in the, because you know how organized Nazi Germany was.
Sure.
As far as bureaucracy. And in order to get into bureaucracy, you had to have done the job in the real world at least 5 years to even qualify. They had enough sense to do that you had to have a real world experience before you took a government job.
Yeah, I guess I missed that part. The excerpts I've read are more, he very early on said the whole raison d'etre of the Nazi party is anti-Semitism, essentially.
Yeah, you know what? He lost me when he was killing the people who were...
Oh, yeah. It started with that, the unfit and these sorts of things.
Right, and then he started working on the minorities and stuff. So, yeah, he lost me way at the top of the book. But if you read, because I was forced to read it for a book report, once you actually got to the back of it, it had some logical stuff in there about administration and records.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to make out whether it's Hitler or Stalin or any evil mass murderer, that they're just crazy. Right. And in many ways they are, but they're not dumb. You don't take over institutions that way without having some
crazy
sort of crazy that works in a certain direction.
All righty.
Appreciate it, Urban.
See you, Urban.
272-9228. I mean, we're a long way off from those midterm elections. I know folks are already bringing it up. And this is why I've been saying you got to move with speed. Like, you have to do this quick.
Yeah.
And do it within, like, fiscal year 26 is what Elon's saying.
And that's, to me, I enjoy the fact that he's doing it fast because it slows down any kind of counteroffensive. They're worried about something you did 3 days ago.
Right.
We've moved on since then. You keep coming up with that plan that says, hey, we're not going to allow you to do this. That's fine. We've done it and we've moved on.
Well, and, I wrote about this the other day. For all the critics of, like, Trump and Doge and all this stuff, I think a lot of them are simply stuck playing a role defending the prevailing system, the status quo.
Right.
And I suspect a lot of them will be happy after the fact to see the status quo go.
I think so, too. I think a few of them don't really know what they're wishing for.
Well, and the thing is, it's like after the wrecking ball knocks down a bunch of stuff, they're neither willing or able to build back what was knocked down. So Elon just said in that clip we played, we might take something off. We're like, oh, actually, we should have kept that on. We'll just put it back.
Put it back on.
But in many ways, once you like knock down a building, everybody's like, no, don't knock it down. Are they going to rebuild it exactly as you knock what you knocked down? No, of course not. Nope. So we'll see. But I think speed is of the essence on many of these things. And we'll also have to see how, to Elon's point, the Congress and the judiciary react to a lot of this stuff. I think a lot of your lower level courts, your circuit appeals courts and all that are going to do injunctions and stays, and local judges will. Well, when you get to the Supreme Court is where it's going to be quite interesting, because my sense is this Supreme Court is very much willing to entertain things like what Vivek and Elon are putting out there. That they've already overturned the Chevron deference.
Right, which I'm so glad.
And you already have members of Congress saying, we want to get back control over a lot of these rules and regulations and how it's made. I think you have a willingness from a Republican president whose strength, in a sense, can't be questioned. Like, when Trump says he's going to be willing to bomb something, you better take him seriously, right?
Right.
In fact, I think he just bombed ISIS in Somalia over the weekend.
He did.
Yeah.
You know he's going to bomb somebody.
So nobody's going to question him like, oh, you're weak or something like that. You might be foolish or you might be like the madman or whatever. This is too crazy, Mr. Trump. Stop. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. But it takes a guy like that to be able to look at the DOD and go, okay, we're actually also going to audit this and pare this down to where it is the most lethal and efficient fighting force on the face of the earth. And if you've noticed, a lot of these picks he's picked for cabinet positions, whether it's Hegseth or Kristi Noem, or all these folks are good on TV. So he's picked people that are communicators. Who knows what will happen right around the corner? As I was saying the first weekend, events always surprise people. But a lot of this is move fast right now, get things done, and show the people results. And I think you will be rewarded accordingly.
So he kind of learned his lesson from the last go-round of kind of got things taken away from him, stabbed in the back a few times. Now he just kind of kicked butt right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And run those folks over. Just not even entertaining people.
Well, and again, think about like the stuff on the campaign. When Trump said they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, he should have been done. But he wasn't done. Like so many of the things said, it's like, oh no, you can't say. And I think it's because people aren't paying attention to the dying newspapers.
Right. Oh, they're not.
They're not paying attention to the nightly newscast. Very few are.
You can't. If you are, I don't see how.
There's still some. There's still some faithful readers of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and yada, yada, yada. But I think you actually have a critical mass of people, a majority of people that are completely tuning those things out, or if they do tune them in, they look at it skeptically.
Do you think that's going to age out? Those two
in
particular?
Yes. I think it gets worse for the legacy media and whatnot. And then the next big shoe to fall is when people start, who are in their like 20s now, they're having kids, in their 30s now having kids.
Yeah.
They get into their 40s and 50s. Their kids need to go to college age. They're 18, 19, something years old. And they go, what's college worth it?
Yep.
Well, you can get a great job if you go do this. Why would you even need to go to an Ivy
League?
League?
There's some direct lines right in
And
there,
I think that's where a lot of folks start freaking out. It's not just, oh, you're not reading the New York Times faithfully anymore. We also don't really care about the credentials you've been passing out to people anymore.
Because honestly, look at these folks that have these great credentials, okay, in our leadership. Look at the decisions they make. How can you stand by those credentials? What'd you go to, Idiot U? I mean, come on.
This is part of the program. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, who should be joining us tomorrow.
She'll be joining us tomorrow right at noon.
Okay, cool, to kick off the show.
Yes.
Because, again, we have Luis Elizondo joining us again to the show at 1, going to be on with us from 1 to 3.
Right.
So good to see Madeline in the first hour tomorrow. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They can help you whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance that home. It could be the right time for you. At least have the conversation.
Exactly, Joey.
They'll ask you just some basic questions about your finances, run the credit, all these sort of things. Like how much home can you afford? Or can we get you a better refinance deal? It might be worth it at this interest rate to refinance, especially if you're trying to unload credit card debt.
Right.
Or if you're trying to reinvest in your property or your family. But it starts with a conversation. And if you're a veteran and you haven't taken advantage of the VA benefits you earn through your service, and I'm talking about the home loan benefits, you must call Alabama Home Mortgage. I have no way to force you to do it.
Should be your first call.
You need to call them up because they know the latest, and it is the best deal out there. That number for Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats to your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Before you buy new floors at a discount store and get them installed by the cousin of a friend who does this kind of thing, consider the better option. Prattville Carpet carries the most reputable brands for selection, style, and quality you can trust. And with their non-transferable lifetime installation warranty, you'll never have to worry about hardwood warping or carpet buckling. Your floors will stay as beautiful as the day they installed them.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Matthew says, howdy from upstate New York. Enjoying your show.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you found us, Matthew. My brother's wife is actually from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs area. Beautiful part of the country. Yeah. Really is. Like,
they do a lot of apple picking up there?
I don't know. We didn't get into that.
Wow.
But my brother definitely married up. But I appreciate you listening to us, Matthew, and hope you keep on listening and tuning in.
And we hope you learned something from your brother.
I do?
Up. Yeah, marry up.
Yeah.
Big difference.
I just really, we don't have time. We have a sponsor on the phone.
Oh, he'll agree.
Let's go to the phones to talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. 1 out of 1 sponsors agree you should marry up. The challenge is they're trying to marry up.
Yes.
So,
right.
Yes. This is true.
Right. So you have to trick them.
Yep.
That doesn't sound right.
Show them you got potential.
Yeah. Just BS your way through it, Joey.
Fake it till you make it, brother.
So what's the score there today at Cohen's?
28-3.
Ooh.
Wow.
I tell you, you know, this Wi-Fi deal that people have in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson was out there the other day installing a TV for somebody, and one of them wasn't picking up good, and they checked it with their phones, and that particular room was barely getting any signal. The other rooms were getting 200 and 300 plus, but this one room off in the corner of the house wasn't getting it, and he was like, you know, I can add this and we can fix that, and it doesn't really cost you any more labor while I'm here, but we can kind of rectify it and get it taken care of. Well, he finally let us do one. And of course, then when we get done, he says we can add a second one, which, you know, kind of negates the whole saving you money on
right.
install, because now
we got to be there for another hour, where it could have been doing some of its update and downloading while we were doing other things. But anyway, we got the customer taken care of. He's got great Wi-Fi in his house, and everybody wants to let the cable guy do it because he's going to just charge you, pennies per month.
Mm-hmm.
But they never get it right.
Right.
True.
And then once they start trying to interface with audio video, they don't know how. They end up disconnecting everything we've connected, and we end up having to run a service call for the customer in a week after the cable guy gets through. So anyway, this all worked out well because we could all do it in that one trip and get the customer taken care of.
Just another example why you got to go with Cohen's, folks. And you can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard here in Montgomery, 2515 Eastern Boulevard. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael. Be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show where Eddie was trying to get Joey to marry up.
Trying to get him to marry up, and we learned that we have listeners in New York.
I love it.
That's right.
Who would have thunk it?
The magic of the internet.
That's exactly right.
He must be a common sense guy.
Oh yeah, from reading his comments, I think he's all right dude. Well, I appreciate it, Michael.
All right, y'all have a great day. Come
see you, Michael.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Again, that's 334-272-9228. Final hour of the program coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Trump held off on his tariff threats against Mexico for 1 month of further negotiations after Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to send 10,000 members of our country's National Guard to the border to address drug trafficking. Unless there are last-minute negotiations, tariffs against Canada and China still set for Tuesday. The Pacific Coast Highway back open in Malibu, California, nearly a month after the deadly Palisades fire ripped through hillside Los Angeles neighborhoods, destroying properties all the way down to the beach. Traffic along that scenic shoreline route began moving again with just one lane in each direction and limited speed from Santa Monica northwest to the Ventura County line. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 8 points, the NASDAQ Composite down 154. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend. Must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Only a few days ago, we were in the deep freeze, but now it's springtime in February. Today's high up to about 76, a really nice Monday with plenty of sunshine. Mostly clear tonight, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow's high, 78. We'll take it. Mostly sunny skies. If we get to 82 on Wednesday, that ties the record. And 81 on Thursday would be record territory as well. Maybe a few spotty showers by Thursday afternoon. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASE loan payment from your phone, anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. YourASECreditUnion.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey has appointed Ashley Siebert to be the next district judge for Baldwin County. Siebert will be part of the 28th Judicial Circuit Court. She's a graduate of Auburn University as well as the Thomas Good Jones School of Law in Montgomery. Siebert will replace retiring district judge Michelle Thomason. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
State Senator Arthur Orr is confident that state lawmakers will be taking a look at the operations of the only school in the state created for LGBTQ students. Orr is the chairman of the Senate Education Budget Committee and spoke with Dale Jackson on WVNN out of Huntsville. Orr says there's been a lot of concern expressed by state lawmakers over the Magic City Acceptance Academy and its continued refusal to follow the new state laws about teaching divisive concepts.
They have, they're not going by the letter of the law that was passed, and it's something we're going to have to deal with. Now, what's the best way to go about that? We'll have to figure it out, but they are definitely in the sights.
And the founding pastor of the Church of the Highlands, Chris Hodges, is retiring as senior pastor and going to work to grow the Highlands College, which is located outside of Birmingham. Hodges has been the head pastor at the Church of the Highland for 24 years. It was founded on February 4th, 2001. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah. Cocaine
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Always be closing. Always be closing.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader here in the studio with me.
That's right.
And that's what's always on his mind. Always be closing.
Always, Joey.
Always. Coffee is for closers.
Closers only.
And Matthew from upstate New York said, FYI, he married up. His wife is from Lexington, Virginia. All right.
Who's that?
Me? No.
Oh.
The Matthew from upstate New York married up.
I would say most men, I'm going to be very honest, most men marry up. We outkick our coverage on the regular, and it's kind of a plan.
Or is it just men are easily impressed by anybody that'll give them the time of day?
I won't say that as much as men have learned from their father's mistakes. Like I remember an older man came to me one time. He said, son, you're thinking about getting married? I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said, before you do, go meet your mother-in-law. Take a good look at her. Take a good look at the way she handles things. Because you're going to marry her daughter.
You know more than the audience knows about my life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I've gotten tale of the mother.
See? That was some solid advice the man gave me.
Like straight up boomer, man. So what do you think about, I'm stealing this from Tim Dillon, but what do you think about the, Israel-Palestinian conflict? The crab cakes are really good here. I'm looking to vacation in Tahoe a little later this month.
Yeah.
Let's go to Babs. Hey, Babs, how you doing?
Am I on?
There
Yes,
you go,
ma'am.
Babs. How you doing, honey?
I'm like, I can't ever remember which one of them it is.
y'all can't hear me, but it's not me, it's y'all, right?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, I'm not hearing you.
Oh.
You can tell how patient I am. I've been holding on through 2 long commercial breaks and this, that, and the other, just to tell you guys how much I love and appreciate you.
Well, that's awesome.
We
Babs.
love you too.
I listen to you all the time. I truly do. But sometimes it's just hard to call in, and I don't, and I just rather listen. But I want to say that I love Elon and Vivek, too, and I think President Trump should be crowned king of the United States. My son just jumps all over me when I see that.
I was about to say, you just freaked out a lot of limbs.
Yeah.
I'm sure, oh, yeah. So that's the reason I say it. But I do. Gosh, y'all, I learned so much from this radio station, you guys especially. But this morning, did you hear that Congress spent $2 million on K-Cup coffee?
That does not surprise me. Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it's the truth. It was, I don't know, a private, somebody's or another investigated it. $2 million.
That does
$2
not
million
surprise me.
on K-Cups. I didn't even know K-Cups was invented in 2012, but anyway. But I do. I love the show, and I appreciate all the work both of you do. And, Eddie, you're just a jewel. I don't know when it was. It may not have been last week or the week before. But Joe Reed was on there.
Yeah.
A young Joe Reed. Who is he, Joey?
He's an attorney here locally, and he works Montgomery DNC Democrats.
Okay. Well,
The
Eddie,
oldest son of the
said-
Joe Reed you know from days gone by.
Right.
He's not related?
No, he is.
he
He's
is.
the eldest son of that Joe
Yeah,
Reed,
that's
and
what
he's
I
the
figured.
older brother of the mayor here of this dear city.
Yeah. Joey was so nice and wouldn't say anything, and I wanted to call, but I don't think Joey was taking calls. But
I get along with Joe. We get along
well,
really
let
good.
me
Now,
tell you what he said.
okay.
He said that the reason that Trump won again, if you'll look back and see, he won against both 2 women, and America's just not ready for a woman president. Oh, I wanted to call in and tell him what a tip he was.
I bet you did, honey.
Well, I didn't, because I thought, like I said, I don't think Joey was making calls, and I'm always getting ready to go someplace or coming home after, listening to y'all, but I couldn't believe he said that. But anyway, I love you
I know
guys. I appreciate
Don't get too
you
mad
so
at me,
much,
Babs. Don't get too
and
mad at me,
have
but
a
I'm
wonderful rest of the week.
You too.
You too.
Don't get too mad, but I'm gonna be honest with you. He's not the only man I've heard say that.
I just was appalled when he said it.
Just saying.
But anyway, like I said, I wanted to call in, but I didn't, and it's probably a good thing that I couldn't. All right, catch y'all later.
Thank you, Babs.
so
Love you,
much.
honey.
Thanks, Bab.
What about
Love
you,
her.
Joey? Could you handle a woman president? Was that something that would?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a woman right now on the screen. I wouldn't, if she ran for president, being a homer, I'd support her.
Now, Joey, we know that you go deeper than that. That you're not going to vote on someone just because they look a little sexy.
That's not what I'm talking about. I was saying like Alabama's own.
Oh, well, you thinking?
Also, by the way,
she might really do that?
Maybe down the road. Who knows? It is said every time a senator combs their hair, they have thoughts of the presidency in their eyes.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool, though. I mean,
You know the song I was kind of paraphrasing? Yeah, I'll tell you off air.
But I kind of like the
No,
idea.
I'll just mute the mics, tell you real
Okay.
quick.
But of course.
But of course.
But of course.
You got to keep the theme going here. But no, it would, as I said to Joe at the time, it would have to be the right woman.
Right. And that's the thing. And
what does that even mean? I think it means somebody who is a unique personality that isn't just paint by number politician, good CV. I was attorney general. I was senator. Now my turn because of all my experience.
It's the person.
Yes, it has to be
100%.
somebody with a magnetic personality, a true charismatic.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hillary Clinton didn't fit that bill.
No.
And Kamala certainly didn't either.
I think with most people, and me in particular with Hillary, I would, and I'll be very honest, probably any woman president, if you just pick any woman, would worry that I've got to show them that I'm as mean as the boys are. I'm as bad as the boys are.
Mm-hmm.
And I worry about that overcompensation part. But not all women, not to say all women will have it. A lot of women won't have that. But I think that's always in the back of some people's mind.
So you just bomb a few things as you get into office?
If Hillary would have come into office.
Oh, good God.
Right.
I think we'd be at war with North Korea.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see the
And I'm saying that based off of what Obama told Trump.
Oh, yeah.
On the way out the door in
He was
2016.
trying to edge it on there a little bit.
Yeah, he's saying that's the hottest
That's the problem
issue
you're gonna
right
have.
now.
Yep.
So who knows? I maintain, are there men that will never vote for a woman? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they exist.
Sure. Broken-hearted man, fresh out of a relationship.
Mhm.
He ain't vote for no woman.
And I don't think, by the way, it necessarily cuts any particular partisan way.
No, I don't think. I agree.
But also, I think even those men who would be like, no, I'm not doing that. And again, if you have a true charismatic, a unique personality.
They could be won over?
Yes.
And
Easily.
maybe that's just it. As far as Joe's comment, maybe he just hadn't seen the right woman.
Right. And by a charismatic, I mean, you've got to be able to have the gift of gab, be able to connect with people a certain way. Good looks does not hurt.
Doesn't
And
hurt.
I think that applies to male politicians. Now, you can't be too good looking.
Right.
Male or female. If you're too good looking, people don't trust you.
Yep.
And that's been borne out by study after study. Whether, again, it's men or women. If you're, like, really attractive, like, folks...
I think that's why you'd be perfect, man.
Right, yeah.
I'd say it for you did.
A solid 5 right here.
5. Oof.
Yeah,
Big
but,
day,
well,
man.
then watch me shave, get a guy's buzz cut
What do we got, a
going.
12-year-old over there?
Yeah, well, yeah. If I had to rank myself on a scale, I give it 3.
That's what every dude does.
Snaggletooth.
Yeah, every dude does. Because you know your flaws.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's why you don't go there.
But, yeah, I think it could happen.
I do, too. I think it'll happen, honestly, in my lifetime. I think it will happen in my lifetime.
Well, and it's also like, as I said to Joe on that day, I think you can't be like, that can't be the lead of the campaign if you're a female running for
Automatically
president.
out?
No, it can't be like, I'm going to break the glass ceiling.
Oh. Well, see, that's...
Like, it needs to, you don't need to say it. You let other
Right.
people say it.
It needs to be organic. It really does.
Right, but that doesn't need to be the thrust of your
No,
campaign.
because I think that's all you're after is I'm the first woman president. I
Right.
want something much more than that.
Right. So we'll see. There have been, by the way, many female leaders in history, in front and behind the scenes. Yeah, so it's bound to happen one of these days. Just when you look back at Hillary and you look back at Kamala, you're like,
dodged a bullet.
There's a lot of reasons not to like them other than their sex.
Yeah. A lot.
272-9228, especially, those corporate oligarchic puppet masters they have on them. That's a little unattractive to me.
And honestly, I don't know how much that was with Hillary, but with Kamala, that's all I saw was just someone in a NASCAR uniform with just
Well, you
patches
remember
of-
Hillary, it got leaked, one of her speeches to all the big bankers. It was like Goldman Sachs and a bunch of other bankers. She's like, well, I just tell people things. Like, what I say on the campaign trail isn't necessarily what I'll do, once I'm in office.
I tell people things so I can get elected. Duh.
It really is like, if folks are shocked by that, it's like, as I yelled last week, did you grow up in a cotton candy house?
Well, that's why people are angry, and people like me and you are thrilled that Donald Trump is living up to his campaign promises. Those are some of the first things he's taking care of. These are the promises I made. I've got to go take care of these things. Whereas most presidents, working on it. Working on it.
By the way, the GOP, Alabama GOP.
Yeah.
They just announced their 2025 legislative agenda. Should I read a few of these?
I would love to hear it.
The party's first priority is expanding economic opportunity by eliminating Alabama's business personal property tax.
Won't argue with that.
Setting free market policy standards for cryptocurrency.
Good with that.
Get on it, Phil Ensler. Get on it, Mike Shaw. Actually, I trust those guys to come up with a pretty good bill. Beginning the reduction of the state income tax.
Down with that program.
Next, they will prioritize protecting children and preserving parental rights, starting with banning transgender indoctrination in public schools. They also have goals of ensuring girls have access to private spaces, including bathrooms and locker rooms. It's amazing that that's even being said. Yeah. It needs to be said. Yeah. Giving parents full control over opting their children in or out of sex education. That's a touchy subject.
It is, but I'll be honest. If my son or daughter at an age in school, I might opt them out just because I don't trust. I want to hear the message from me and my wife, not from a by-the-hour teacher.
Or would you be like, give me the presentation? Teach.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. But no, because I went through that at high school, it was in junior high. It was ridiculous. It was a complete waste of time. Most people that actually took it seriously were more confused when they came out of there than ever before. So, no.
Yeah, we didn't have sex education at Montgomery Catholic.
No, they brought in your mom. You told them.
Yeah, to teach anatomy.
And how did that go? What grade were you
Do
guys
I have to
in?
really tell this?
No,
again? I was in 6th grade.
So, but honestly, how seriously did 6th graders take that? Was it even a message you guys received?
No, it was incredibly funny, especially to everybody who knew it was my mother.
Yeah, it kind of overshadowed.
She started the class by saying, all right, let's get it out of the way. And this is who she was, like stubborn Pollock, like just right into the thick of things. Let's just get it out of the way. Everybody say penis. Everybody say vagina. And penis. And like, people were like, that's her mom, dude.
Yeah. I would have get kicked out of that class immediately with you because I would have just, Joey, that's your mom.
Yeah, I know.
Joey.
What can I do?
Joe.
What can I do?
Joey, your mom.
I think she was like trying to just cut off any prospects.
Well,
I think it worked.
It worked, hasn't it?
It worked maybe too well. Anyway, preventing teachers from being forced to use gender pronouns. Is that really a thing? You have to be forced to use
I think
gender
that's
pronouns?
ridiculous, but okay.
Now, citing the influx of illegal drugs and human trafficking, the party is, and we're talking about the Alabama GOP, is turning its attention to cracking down on illegal immigration.
Welcome to the party.
The ALGOP stated it will pursue the following policies to crack down on illegal immigration: identifying, deporting criminal illegal immigrants, cracking down on human trafficking, allocating guaranteed funding for district attorneys' offices. That's interesting.
Yeah.
To where, because that issue's come up when we were talking about crime here in the city.
Lack of funding?
That a lot of their funding, they get it from the fees and whatnot.
Okay.
Of like the court fees. As opposed to like just a straight up, here's some guaranteed
X amount of
funding
money,
from the
yeah.
state. Which, and maybe you can earmark in the sense you got to use it for this, that, or the other.
You'd have to earmark it.
Mhm.
You would have to earmark it.
And then, of course, they're going to prioritize election integrity. That hadn't gone away. Establishing a hand count post-election audit, reforming the absentee voting process, and implementing party registration for primary elections. Ooh.
I like the idea of all this.
I like that. I kind of think this idea is a good one in the sense that right now you don't have to, you have to declare which primary you're voting in.
Right.
So you get that ballot. But you don't have to be a registered Republican. You don't have to be a registered Democrat
Right.
to vote in
either one of them,
the
right?
primaries. So if you do have to register, I think it actually might attract more people. Like you make it an active thing. If it's just sort of an open club, like who cares? But if you make it sort of this active thing, you want to be part of the party. You're part of an exclusive club, so to speak.
Yeah, I can see that. And
But it keeps the crossover vote that's happened so many
which is
times in this
ridiculous.
frickin' state.
That's
from
just
happening.
taken away from the whole process.
They're also going to continue to tackle DEI policies in the state, having previously passed a ban on DEI in all state-funded entities. Now, with the Trump administration taking an ostensibly anti-DEI stance, the Alabama GOP is following suit by opposing radical leftist policies. Their priorities include defining womanhood under state law and protecting women's right to private spaces, preventing Alabama businesses and citizens from being, quote-unquote, debanked due to religious or political beliefs. I think that's a great thing.
It is. It's ridiculous that even can happen.
Banning taxpayer funds from being allocated to DEI programs, and recognizing gold and silver. I don't know how this last one got in here under this category, but recognizing gold and silver as legal currency. Oh, yeah, baby.
Heck yeah.
I like that.
Me too.
I like that a lot. Thanks for that write-up.
Do people actually don't want that?
I think there are some folks that look at it and go, that barbarous relic, like, what do we need that? Right.
I got you. Okay.
But I love the idea. And I know many people in the libertarian world that have been fighting the good fight. J.P. Cortez, who stopped by one day, was helping to promote a lot of sound money policies here in Alabama. And that might be the next
common sense
bite at the apple here. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. But I got to say, both United States senators from Alabama, in a way, they probably feel vindicated. For
I
one,
sure hope Coach does.
Coach in particular.
I sure hope he does.
Tuberville, he made that stand holding up the flag officer.
Got all that
motions.
grief.
And then now that Trump has won, the DOD has essentially reversed the policy of Biden, what Coach is trying to accomplish.
Yep.
And Pete Hegseth personally thanked Coach Tuberville
Excellent.
after they changed the policy. And then when you look at efforts by Katie Britt to push the Laken Riley Act,
right,
there was Laken Riley's mother thanking Senator Britt there as Trump is signing it in the White House. So both seem to be like on the, I don't know if you would call it the inner circle, but they have the president's ear, I think, on a lot
right
of
now.
things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got people's ear, too.
Well, and Alabama's been very good to Trump. The people have.
Oh,
it's been a,
100%.
if you go back, some of that was a little messy. Like the whole, remember the Luther Strange, Roy Moore cycle and Doug Jones winning against Roy Moore and all that stuff?
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes things are going to have to get messy.
Well,
Look at
sometimes
us.
they are.
Look at us now. Look how far we've come.
Right. Well, here's Senator Britt. She's on with Will Cain, who was that when they took Neil Cavuto off here at Fox, put Will Cain on. I'm like, well, I still don't watch y'all, but
feel better about it.
I'd much rather see a clip of Will Cain than Cavuto. Like Will Cain at least seems to understand the times we're in as a young man. So let's play a little bit of this, shall we? This is against United States Senator Katie Britt with Will Cain on the Will Cain Show.
All right, let's bring in now Alabama Republican Senator Katie Britt. Senator, I know you have young children. I have young children. There's reports that many of the people on this plane were athletes, young athletes, figure skaters, who were part of the many lost. Every life is important, but I'm sure it's easy for you, as it is for me and many others, to put ourselves in these situations and think about what was lost.
Well, I mean, you said it. That's it. I mean, as a mom, when you see something like this happen, your heart just breaks because you know that there are people's children on this flight. There are moms on this flight. There are people that that will no longer be able to share their lives with their loved ones as a result of this. And so, our hearts and prayers are with these victims' families. And obviously, I have full confidence that President Trump, along with Sean Duffy, will work with partners to get to the bottom of this. But at the end of the day, we know that nothing fills the void that's left here. I mean, as I fly in and out of this city every week, and to your point about children, my daughter came and joined me a few weeks ago and flew in on a nighttime flight by herself. And it is truly gut-wrenching and heartbreaking to think about what these families are going through and let them know that we in America firmly stand with them. And as President Trump said, believe that these individuals are being embraced by our good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ now.
Well, Senator, we heard directly from the president. We also heard from the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Transportation and the Vice President that after a moment like this, we're going to refocus all of our federal institutions on making sure that we hire the best of the best for every job. President Trump was just asked about this when he was signing executive orders. He was asked about, hey, you don't know if DEI played a role, so why are you bringing up DEI? Watch what just happened in the Oval Office.
Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We want the most competent people, especially in those positions. And
see, Roland Martin, that little troll, has taught me that right there. It's incredibly racist.
How so?
Because it's like code for like you're not competent unless you're white.
I didn't get that.
I also think Roland Martin is high on DMT half the time.
Something.
You're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
Senator, I would think, while we don't know if DEI played a role in this incident, we do know that human error did. And DEI is a policy that exacerbates human error. We need to cut out every policy that allows for anything where we maximize the potential for human error.
Yeah, well, look, we've talked about this over and over again. President Trump is going to keep America safe. He is going to do everything in his power to make sure that our citizens, no matter where they live, no matter where they are, that their safety and security comes first. And that means making sure that we have the best people in positions to do that. So whether it's our courageous law enforcement officers, whether it's the men and women who are working at the FAA, whether it's our men and women in uniform, we want to make sure that the the people who are set to protect our citizens are the best trained, equipped, and ready to do so. And so that's what this is about. You'll continue to see President Trump fulfill his promises from the campaign trail, that those are the things we're going to be putting first. We're going to be putting Americans first. We're going to get back to common sense policies. Well, common sense, which means that we're going to take a look at everything across the board and making sure we're doing what's best for Americans to succeed. So I am thrilled with President Trump's leadership, as you mentioned, J.D. Vance's leadership, and know that it'll only continue the longer that they're here in office.
Again, that's United States Senator Katie Britt here, her hometown. Wanted to give that little nod. I thought it was an interesting interview. Both her and Tuberville are really, like we said earlier, I think in the mix with this new administration. Shifting gears here a little bit, I'm looking for tomorrow at about 1:30 our time. President Trump's AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, is going to host a press conference about digital assets and how America will secure its position as leader. That's why, and I would say thank you to, I think it's a pretty bipartisan understanding here in Alabama, that Alabama needs to be on the bleeding edge of this. We don't need to be the caboose of this whole crypto revolution. We need to be ahead of the game, and I think there are many Republicans and many Democrats in the state who understand that, maybe even better than I do. Actually, for certain better than I do. I think it's time to hit the ground running, because as this starts to come down from the federal level, it will be great to be at least close to the beginning of the line.
Great to be ahead of the game for once.
Yeah. And so I am looking forward to that press conference, see exactly what the crypto czar is going to come up with. I haven't seen any preview necessarily, but we'll see. And now, breaking, again from the Wall Street Journal, they've been such, naysayers, though, this whole time.
Yeah.
The respectable conservative outlet. But Trump administration officials are weighing executive actions to dismantle the education department as part of the campaign by Elon Musk and his allies to shrink federal agencies and slash the size of the government workforce. The officials have discussed an executive order that would shut down all functions of the agency that aren't written explicitly into statute. Or, wait. They're doing things that aren't explicitly written into statute?
Okay.
Or move certain functions to other departments, according to people familiar with the matter. Yeah, there might be things the Department of Education is doing. It's like, move it to Treasury. So like the student loan stuff.
Yes.
Just move it to Treasury. The order would call for developing a legislative proposal to abolish the department, the people said. Trump's advisors are still debating the specifics of the order and the timing. The White House didn't respond for comment. But good. It's only 2 weeks in, and they're moving very, very, very quickly.
It's funny you mentioned the 2 weeks. We got Fox News on it here. You keep seeing it come up, first 100 days. I'm like, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, how about first 30 days?
It's been 2 weeks, man. I know a lot of things have happened, but it hasn't been 100 days yet.
Now, I know the Congress is always moving slow, so I hope Speaker Johnson and John Thune, there in the Senate, on the Senate side, are actually ready to go and move.
If not, they're going to get ran over.
Yeah, well, and here's just a short clip. This was Mike Johnson talking about the first 2 weeks. And it's win after win after win. Let's listen in.
Look, we're excited about everything that President Trump is accomplishing. He's done more in 14 days for the American people than Joe Biden did in 4 years. 300 executive actions. All the priorities that we promised everyone in the campaign.
He has a pleasant voice.
Yes.
He does. Good on you, Mike.
Trail that we would take care of. He's doing what he said he would do, removing dangerous illegal aliens, securing the border, standing up to terrorists. I mean, he's unleashing American energy again. He's gotten rid of the DEI and gender ideology madness. It's win after win after win. So he's doing a lot by executive authority, which we applaud, and we're going to follow that up and really reinforce what he's doing, the agenda, through legislation.
So they're promising it. We'll see if they actually follow through. And it is fascinating, as much as there are the usual suspects shrieking and freaking out about all this stuff, it doesn't seem that it's working.
No.
I think there are a lot of folks that are just wise to it.
It is working. People like me are laughing. Enjoying every minute of it.
What's that word we were using earlier? Should we feel sympathy or should we feel what's that word again? I'm forgetting that word.
Schadenfreude.
That's the one.
Schadenfreude.
That's the one.
Hey, AOC's making noise about taking apart USAID. Hey, AOC, Schadenfreude. Man, when you say that angry, that sounds
it does.
Sounds bad. It doesn't sound like it. Just means taking pleasure.
Makes me want to make sure your hands
in someone else's misfortune.
Yeah, I want to make sure your hands are by your side when you say that.
Elon Omar is like, she's complaining that they're dismantling things. This is these billionaires and stuff. Hey, Elon, Schadenfreude.
See, your hands need to stay in your pockets when you say that.
Yeah, no Roman salutes.
Yeah.
No, my heart goes out to people.
Exactly. That's getting taken the wrong way these days.
I didn't come up with the word. Just because it's German doesn't mean it's bad.
Can you say it just a little less aggressively, perhaps?
Well, let's hear how the robot says it again.
Schadenfreude.
It's still, even with the robot voice, it's a little aggressive.
Made me sit up straight.
Schadenfreude. Yeah, say it real quietly.
Then I think you're plotting something against
Schadenfreude, Eddie.
Sounds even worse.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. How about this? Let's hit a break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
From brutal cold a few days ago to spring-like warmth now, we like it. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, how about upper 70s in early February with mostly sunny skies? You want to do better than that? How about 82 on Wednesday? That would tie a record. Then on Thursday, maybe a few spotty showers by the afternoon hours with a high around 81. That's record territory as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hello, this is Pam with All About the Bounce. We have been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for a little over a month now and have seen great results. Thank you, Blue Water, for helping us to bring the bounce to more customers across the river region. Radio advertisement is definitely the best advertisement.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And the news stories just keep on coming. In fact, Trump was asked about the USAID thing again, which is, again, not just like, oh, it's an aid program to people because it's in the name.
That's what you would think, but we've learned that's not the case.
That's not how it works. Trump is asked about that after he signed that executive order. Let's listen in.
The first term, though, USAID was something that you liked in some respects.
I love the concept of it.
Had some programs.
Sure. I love the concept, but they turn out to be radical left lunatics. And the concept of it is good, but it's all about the people.
Mr. President, the first term.
Elon must be very, very happy with all of this. Elon also sharing the commentator Scott Adams. You know who that is. The guy of Dilbert fame.
Yep.
And, and he was very early to the Trump phenomenon. And he has long said Trump is a master of persuasion.
Didn't he get some cancellations in that from his...
Yeah.
Thought so. Okay.
Yeah, he got canceled on purpose.
I thought so.
If you watch the whole clip, he's like, okay, I'm about to say something that everybody's going to say is like really, really racist, but I'm just going off these poll numbers.
Oh.
So watch what happens. I'm going to say this thing, and then and I think he did it on purpose so he didn't have to deal with the newspapers anymore. And just go independent and put Dilbert online.
There you go.
Or he has a huge following.
There's the future.
All right. But here's Scott Adams kind of laying out what happened with the Treasury Department over the weekend. This is fantastic stuff.
Here's the interesting one. So apparently the highest ranking person in the Treasury, David Lebrick, he resigned rather than comply with Doge for access to audit where they spent trillions of dollars a year. Trillions of dollars go through the system. And as soon as Doge said, can we see what's in there? See where the money went? The person in charge quit.
What's that tell you?
Now, I don't know how that could be more damning.
Right.
The only thing that would be more damning is if they've already left the country to a country with no extradition. But let me tell you a universal truth. One of the things we learned in this story, allegedly, is that there was never any audit to money requests that went through the Treasury. They simply said yes to everything. Now, I hope that's not literally true.
I think it is.
But it's being reported that they didn't even have the function to check. There was nobody whose job it was to even check.
Wow.
They just said yes. And some of that would include maybe some requests that you wouldn't want them to pay.
There you go. When you start actually digging into these things, you're going to find a boatload of waste and probably fraud and legal graft and whatnot. Now, Pamela just walked in early and she has your mouth agape because she handed you something and you're like, Oh,
Well, they're
what is
treats to begin with, and anyone knows if Fat Boy loves something sweet. These are lemon tea cakes.
Lemon tea cake.
You did. I hate that you missed it, and we missed you. I'll be honest. We were kind of lost. We were two schmucks going, you try it. No, you try it.
You try it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm glad you're back. So glad you're back.
Me too.
I got a feeling Budel's going to jump through hoops when he sees you.
I know.
You're so glad you're back.
I know.
I'm glad y'all are feeling better.
And now I love this in real time. You're going to eat those cakes right now?
I know, try one. That's why I brought
Okay,
you
I was going to, but I know
Okay.
you'd mock me for being fat, so I was going to wait till a break.
Give me one, too. Why not?
Yes, that's why I brought them in.
Because
Is it really for Joey? You sure?
I love that
Okay, just
as Democrats are outside the USAID building, they are, you don't have to hand me the whole package, just hand me one. Elon is reacting in real time on
oh, really?
On the Twitter. Yeah. Oh, wow. These are fantastic.
I know. Well, I've never had them before, but
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, these are great.
The cake is moist.
Lemony?
Mm.
Well, great, so mad.
And like the icing is good.
It is very lemony, and it's not like overpowering lemon.
Yeah, it like melts in your mouth.
Mhm.
I love a lemon cake.
Good find.
So good.
Good one. So what are
So-
you doing this time tomorrow?
This?
So here's Jamie Raskin outside the USAID headquarters declaring the Democrats will block DOGE from eliminating government waste and fraud.
What? You're fighting for fraud?
They probably don't characterize it that way.
Oh, okay.
It's like, because all the things that all these buildings are, it's all good. It's all good stuff.
Right.
Right. It's as good as this lemon cake. We're just cozy with all this. Let's listen in.
Elon Musk, you didn't create U.S. aid. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create U.S. aid, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk, you may have illegally seized power over the financial payment systems of the United States Department of Treasury.
Illegally,
but
right.
you don't control the money of the American people. The United States Congress does that. Under
You haven't been controlling squat.
Article 1
Right.
of the Constitution. And just like the president who is elected to something cannot impound the money of the people.
Oh, it's as since when you had, after you took Richard Nixon's balls, you said, no, presidents can't do this anymore.
Right.
We don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk. And that's going to
Love
become
that.
real clear.
No, we have a fourth branch of government called the administrative state, which prominently is, well, USAID is part of it. Especially Mike Ben's digging in, as we reported earlier, that people talk about the George Soros prosecutors. No, you should call them USAID prosecutors.
Yeah.
The amount of money going to little pet
Amazing.
projects,
Yeah.
going to every little NGO that is full of war hawks that have not led the United States in the right direction in foreign policy, that is all about the progressive elements of the society, controlling society. Why is it that y'all are allowed to do all that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because the Congress approved it. When have we even had a conversation about that?
So I can say, when did that happen?
Elon responding in real time saying the corrupt politicians, quote unquote, protesting outside the USA building are the ones getting money from USAID. That's why they're there. They want your stolen tax dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100% right. I love that this is all going on in real time.
That's what I
That's
do
how
like.
it should be done.
Yes.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Plus, it's got to drive them nuts that Elon Musk is just basically a civilian. What can they do besides holler and scream?
And here is Elon Omar at the same thing.
It is really, really a sad day in America. We are witnessing a constitutional crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
When
that.
you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made.
You think she's going to be around much longer?
Schadenfreude, Elon. Schadenfreude.
I'm really wishing her 15 minutes is almost up.
Elon responding to Ilhan.
Uh-huh.
Saying,
Shut up, silly woman.
No, saying she's a major grifter. And
Oh,
hates
no
America.
doubt.
Yeah, exactly. It is remarkable seeing them shriek at all this stuff. You're a dictator because you're stopping our payments.
Our grift. Yep.
No, I think the American people elected Trump, and it's nice to actually have folks in the executive branch who were actually elected going, why are we spending money there?
It's nice to see people we've elected doing what we've elected them to do.
Yep. And
That's
do it
different.
fast. Do it incredibly quickly. It's absolutely beautiful. If y'all didn't hear it, here was Elon on his Spaces last night, describing, well, what it was like to discover what was going on with USAID. It's not an apple with a worm in it. It is actually a ball of worms. That's absolutely correct. And when you start looking under the hood of a lot of this stuff, they're going to sit there and try to pound the table and cite the Constitution. Yeah. You don't give a damn about the Constitution. You never have. And the beautiful thing about our Constitution, the way I read it, the way a lot of other people read it, is you have competition between the branches.
Yeah.
And Congress has abdicated too much of its power to this fourth branch called the administrative state. So maybe it's time that the executive branch is actually run by the elected president and the people the elected president hires to do the job, as opposed to career people that don't have the time of day to even discuss what they do. Who, Joni Ernst on that same call I just played saying, I've been trying to get answers to these questions as an elected member of Congress since I've been up here in the Senate, and they never give me the answers. Thank you for actually breaking into this and uncovering it.
Well, there's a reason they didn't give them the answers.
So don't give me Congress authorized it. Maybe many moons ago they authorized it. But the actual new elected officials, good luck.
As we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we have actually just a bowl of worms. And so at the point at which you don't merely, like if you've got an apple and it's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a bowl of worms, it's hopeless. And USAID is a bowl of worms. Mm-hmm. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing. That is why it's got to go. You know, it's beyond repair. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm enjoying it.
And as Elon said, yeah, you're going to need the Congress to approve some stuff. The judiciary is also going to fight in this battle. But it's great to see an actual elected president say, I was elected by all the people. Mm-hmm. You were elected by a state. You were elected by a little district that your own people carved out for you to essentially give you your own voters before they could ever even vote. I was elected by the entire people. I'm the chief executive. We're going to uncover what's actually going here, and I've empowered these folks with the know-how to do it. If they uncover things that require congressional authorization, then that's the way we're going to go.
Right.
You better believe the Republicans in the House and the Senate better play ball.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Seeing who lies where.
272-9228. Final break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
It's time to show your sweetheart how much you care with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Valentine's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call, 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for your sweetie. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Are you happy with your IT support company? Do they resolve your company's computer issues quickly, or do they leave you down and frustrated? You need your computers working and problems resolved quickly and permanently. GTI is different. GTI has a high standard of affordably supporting and protecting businesses like yours since 1999. Call them now at 819-4650, 819-4650, or visit gtinow.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
And I'm doing great. I'm over here in Alexander City at the top of the Lake Martin, looking at the beautiful lake with my Aunt Jenny. She needed a floor, so I said, I'll run up there and take care of that one.
That's good. I'm
And,
glad people in your family call you for flooring. That's good.
Yeah. A few of them do. There's a couple of them, they're just too picky.
I get it.
That's not on the bold side.
Nah, but of course.
I was actually at Auburn this morning looking at a floor for my aunt and uncle over there. Dad's brothers and sisters are just, everybody wanted something done all at the same time.
Well, No, you're still there. Sorry.
Sorry, not great reception where I'm at. So the moral of the story is if you're in Auburn, Alexander City, Prattville, anywhere you can hear me, we'll come out and give you a free measurement. Within a week or so, you got a new floor down, just that simple.
Excellent. It's worth it, folks. Not only are they going to get the job done well and quickly, I got a feeling y'all are a lot of fun to work with, to actually get a floor down. Based on Jesse's phone call. Yeah,
we can definitely do a lot of fun.
Excellent.
So, it's not a nightmare. We move all your furniture. We take up the floors, haul them all off. We make it really, really simple. Like Aunt Jeannie, she works at the hospital full time. She ain't got time for all that kind of stuff. So she can go to work, and we just take care of it all for her.
You're the man, Ray.
So again, that number, 285-8117. When you'll call up, 285-8117, tell those fine folks there at Prattville Carpet that you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Have a good one, guys.
Appreciate it, Ray.
See you, Ray.
So what have we learned today? That there's a lot of winning going on in just 2 weeks?
Yes. That even, it seems like it's been 100 days. It's really only been 2 weeks. It's just that much winning going on.
Mm-hmm. And, oh, by the way, here's a little, it just keeps coming. Again, it's like news out of
Another
a
one?
fire hose. Here's the press secretary right outside the White House, Caroline Leavitt, talking about USA.
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
I like her, by the way.
I do, too. And I'm glad they're doing this, but it kind of makes me upset that we missed our opportunity. We could have put on a play like that in Jamaica and billed them millions of dollars for it, and apparently they just pay it. They don't even look.
Right,
they just pay it.
What are we going to call it?
Getting paid. That's what we're going to call it. Well, that'd be the nice way to put it.
Oh, there's more to jerk. There's more than jerk to that chicken.
Man, I can't believe that they would just literally, oh, here's an invoice. Hey, hurry up, get that paid. Who's it going to? Why? It doesn't matter. It's an invoice. We must owe it.
Jerk chicken and meat pockets.
Okay.
Don't they sell those like the
beef patties?
Yeah.
What'd you call it?
Meat pocket. Like it's a pocket with a bunch of beef in it.
Yeah, most people call them meat patties, juicy patties.
Yeah, but it's not just the patty. It's like a whole
depends on what
container,
you get. You
like
cheese,
the form factor of
cheese,
it's like a
you get
hot
lobster and
pocket.
cheese. It is like a hot pocket,
but better,
much better. If Hot Pockets tasted that well, I would eat nothing but Hot Pockets. So flaky and crispy.
What else did we learn today?
Tulsi and Kash Patel had some people that I didn't think were going to vote for them. Looks like they're going to come their way now.
Like Lindsey Graham?
That one kind of blows me away. I'll be very honest. Especially as much kind of grief that they both received during the interview process, especially Kash Patel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me personally, I liked it, but I could see where some people on the other side asking him those questions didn't appreciate his attitude.
No, and I'm sure there was backroom like conversations. What are we going to do with all these nominees? And I'm sure Lindsey was like,
"Stop playing with it.
Let's just vote." It's approval. And he teamed up with Senator Britt for the end of birthright citizenship, the congressional side of that.
Which and our senators, Joey, they're kind of kicking butt right now.
Both Tuberville and Britt. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, we've been learning that over the last few days. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Happy hour with the man himself, Greg Vito, and Pamela.
Mm-hmm.
They're next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Trump is speaking with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau just hours before U.S. tariffs are set to go into effect against Canada and China. President Trump held off on his tariff threats against Mexico for 1 month of further negotiations. Salvage crews removing a large portion of a commercial jet from the Potomac River near Washington Reagan National Airport after a mid-air collision last week killed 67 people. Authorities have said the